here we are. We're going to be going into our second semifinals, as I mentioned. It's Rush versus Hero. Pros think Rush is going to take it, but the fans seem to be on Hero's side. I think that could be more so because they don't want to see a PvP finals.
It looks like the caster Park is introducing Rush to come up to the stage, and we don't hear his mic once again, so I'm gonna be opening up the ASL mainstream platform. It takes them a little bit of a 15-second commercial break. We'll swap around the screen later on. And now Hero come up. Hero has been showing very strong Zor vs Prowess matchup against Snow. He's a Protoss killer. And looks like I'm done loading up, so I'm gonna be switching around this to the other screen. And let's hear what Rush is saying.
김지성, 웃음이 또 나요. 계산해보니 이번 경기만 잡으면 우승.
So talking about Royal that made it into the final stage. So Rush is pretty much laughing his ass off that Royal made it into the final stage. So if Rush makes it into the final stage, are you having that expectation that you're gonna be winning the ASL Season 14? And he's pretty much saying yes.
걔가 올라왔어도 할만 했어요.
할만한데.
근데 떨어졌죠?
떨어졌죠.
예.
조일장.
일장 형도 할만하죠.
와.
So Rush is saying that he
조일장.
he doesn't really matter who he faced in the semi-final, whether it was Snow or Hero. Both of the players are somewhat doable for Rush that he can make it into the final stage. And what do you think, Hero? What do you think of Rush's opinion? Royal made it into the final stage. What do you think? You were practicing with Royal and you faced against him in round of 16, and now you're facing against Rush in the semi-final. What do you think?
자신감이 넘쳐요. 와. 그렇다면 여기서 인정하는 테란 중에 최고의 테란 유영진 인정하십니까?
So here is pretty much saying that he's too overconfident. He's too confident. What do you think of Rush? And Hero is saying Rush is also a strong Terran player, one of the top Terran player, but he doesn't think he's the best Terran in the 2022. Even if he beats Strike 3-2. You may have that desperation that you want to get the ASL champ title. There's a one chance, you have some chance that you can get the ASL champ title. And what do you think of today's match? How did you prepare? And Hero is saying he's feeling very confident. He has prepared a lot of this best of 7 series. He would like to go into the game and show what he has. What do you think of Rush's TVZ matchup? So he's complimenting Rush's TVZ. He likes to play offensive play style. And Rush, what do you think of Hero's Zerg player style against Terran? Hero is just kind of like so-so balanced in terms of defense play style and offensive play style.
조금 뻔하죠?
So you are saying Hero's ZVT matchup playstyle is obvious for you? And he said it's somewhat obvious to expect. So Rush, you were saying Rush was saying he's feeling very confident today, and Hero is saying he will be taking him down 4-1.
여기서 이제 보여준다고 이야기를 남겼습니다. 그러면 유영진 선수는 오늘 이 이후에 좀 어떤 걸 조일장 선수에게 보여주실 거예요?
What are you going to show today's game? against Hero.
저번 시즌에 제가 한번 부셨거든요.
Two seasons ago, I took him down.
한번 더 부셔야
I beat him really hard. I'm gonna do it once again.
예.
싹다 부셔버리고
예.
결승으로
He will break his mentality.
조이장
Rush will
선수가
break Hero's mentality of this best of 7 series.
결승은 제가 올라가겠습니다.
오. 네.
ASL final stage is
이어서
mine.
조이장 선수도
That's
이용준
what
선수에게
that's what Rush is saying.
일단 쉽게 앉았으면 좋겠어.
And any last word for Hero?
야.
I hope you don't lose that easily.
누가 오늘 결승단에 결승무대 올라가야 될지 여러분의 뜨거운 박수로
And it looks like
두 번째 대결을
We are done with the pre-interview. We are going into this ASL Season 14 Round of 4 semi-final. The match 2, Rush versus Hero. And players are gonna go back to their seat and we'll swap around to the clean feed video.
Thank you for the translation. It seems like Rush is very confident not just today versus Hero, but now that he knows Royals in the finals. He seems to think that he's going to win it all, and this would be his first time ever winning if he was to make it. I don't know though, because Hero's quite strong, Zerg versus Terran, and yesterday, I talked about it in the Sulky series, that Hydra Lurker, Ling, Defiler. Hero, I think, is even better at it, so I think Rush is going to have a tough time.
And we're gonna be taking a look at this highlight scene of these two players from Season 12.
구도에서 공격적으로 상대방을 윽박지르면서 들어오는 플레이가 그게 좀 일품입니다. 이 유영진 선수가.
유영진 선수의 그 러시 타이밍뿐만 아니라 단단함으로 이재호 선수를 끊어냈어요.
유일장 선수는 꾸준하게 ASL에서 실력을 보여주고 있어서 진짜 강자 중에 강자거든요.
네.
이 병력을 그래서 선입니다.
압도하는 경기를 선보이는 상대형 스코어를 만들어냈습니다.
결승에서 이제 우승을 함으로써 최종 보스가 될 날을 꿈꾸고 있을 것 같습니다.
We are finally about to get into our games. I think I saw, what did that say, a rematch from Season 12, Round of 4?
Yes, that's correct.
So they have recent history, and you know for sure both players want to make it in, but definitely Rush, because remember, he made it to the finals and then lost to Mini. And you gotta always feel for players that make it to the finals and end up getting second, because there may not be a second chance for them, but also Hero itching to get his first title.
Yeah, Hero, he hasn't made it to the final stage for a long time. I mean, the last time he made it into the ASL final stage was Season 3, I believe, and he had to face against Flash, I believe, and I believe the score was 4-1 or somewhere around there. And it's been a while that Hero hasn't made it into the final stage, and we're also going to be taking a look at the screen, ASL Season 14 Finals. Of course, it is going to be cast on October 8th. Saturday, 5 p.m. Sangam Africa TV Coliseum. You take the line 6 and exit number 2 from the digital media CD station, exit number 2, and then you have to take the bus about 10 minutes to get into over here, I suppose. Yeah, so they're giving out the information, and they're gonna be start selling the tickets on October 5th. That is Wednesday, 5 p.m. Korea time. Of course, they have more seats now, 514 seats available. And round of 8 bracket over here, we got to see from yesterday's best of 7 series, Royal versus Soki, 4-3, amazing full game series. And Royal, first time he made it into the final stage, he was so happy that he was about to drop some tears, but then actually he fell into his chair, but he stopped crying after that.
Yeah, that was quite a hilarious moment. But for those of you out there that did not see that series, that score 4-3 doesn't even tell the whole story, because that series was absolutely bonkers. I highly recommend it. My personal opinion is it has to be the best series of the entire ASL this season. We're getting a look at today's matches, hopefully, or today's maps. We've got Odyssey, Allegro, Arkanoid, Vermeer, Nemesis, Butter, and Sylphid. So again, we're going to have a lot of the new maps to start us off.
Interesting to see Hero decided to choose and go for Odyssey for the first map. And Rush is the racial stats information here that TVZ is his weakest matchup. That is somewhat odd. I mean, Rush is one of the specialists in Terran vs Zerg matchup and using the Bio playstyle with SK Terran playstyle. That's weird to have that. He has the lowest win rate over there. And recent 10 games, 3 wins and 7 losses. He lost to Action in season 13 in round of season 13 round of 16, and then he also lost to Soma season 13 round of 8, 3-0 there. But then he made it into the season 14 playing wildcard, playing against Soki. But once again he had to face against Action in the wildcard final, and he lost to him. And here's information over here. Both of them have the lowest win rate of this matchup. That's pretty interesting to know. But overall stats information, pretty darn good. 55.1% win rate.
Yeah, and basically 50% versus Terran. So pretty much both players have even win rates versus their respective matchups. And we get to see Hero's latest statistics, also 3 and 7. And look at those recent games in the middle that are highlighted. Those are all versus Rush. So lately, Rush has had Hero's number. He's looking to turn it around this time around. Now I wanted to ask you, because those of Terran fans that follow Rush, they know that there's definitely a rivalry between Rush and Soma. Like, they have played so many sponsored games. But is there any rivalry between Rush and Hero?
No, I don't think they have any. I don't think they have any story between them. But I guess they have the ASL matchup history has 4-4. They got to play. They got to play before in season 2 that Hero took down Rush, and then Hero took down Rush again in season 11 in the round of 16. But then season 12, Rush showed an amazing best of 7 series in that time.
Games, and I thought to myself, like, man, we didn't see that many Terran versus Protoss games this season. Like, they almost all got eliminated strictly by Zergs, in my opinion. Like, it's just too bad we really didn't get to see a lot of PvT games, especially on Odyssey, because I think Odyssey is a cool map, but it seems very punishing with carriers. I would have loved to see how Protoss players play the new maps, but we really just didn't get to see it versus Terran.
Yeah, lots of
fans for Hero.
Lots of Heroes fans over here rooting for Hero, and also Rush. Oh, looks like he's advertising Rush's YouTube channel as well. And another fan rooting for Hero, ASL champ, Rush as well. And they are the Bosford member. It's one of the StarCraft University team. They are not the fangirls. They're not the fangirls. They are the teammates. They are here to root for Rush's game. And I don't know who he is. Maybe he is a very important person. Maybe that might be one of the reasons why cameraman was shooting the guy in the middle.
Maybe a Freaka executive here to watch the games. If he's gonna pick one series to watch, I mean, or two series to watch. Hopefully he was here yesterday, so that was epic. And hopefully today delivers. And finally, we are ready to get into our first game. It's gonna be on Odyssey between Rush and Hero. In the bottom left are Red Terran, the one and only Rush, and in the top right are Blue Zuri, the one and only Hero. Now yesterday we had one of the most clever proxy factory builds I've ever seen, but it ended up getting scouted, and Rush is also a very aggressive player. We didn't see any 8 Raxes yesterday. You think today or this game could be the day or be the game that we actually see an 8 Rax?
There might be there might be a potential chance that Rush might gonna go for proxy ARAX because he's the guy whenever he feels uncomfortable with the map, then he goes for 8 racks and it makes the game somewhat balanced out. Like whenever the map is somewhat favored towards the Zerg, then he's gonna be immediately pulling out the Dynamics. But I wonder if Rush is gonna be going for 8 racks, but never mind, he will be going for just regular 9 depot at the natural. But here we are. Hero is going to be pulling out the drone really fast. This is a 9 drone scout. So Hero definitely knows Rush is the guy who likes to pull out the ARAX in any time, any sort of like a 2-player map. Sometimes whenever the map is favored towards the Zerg, then yeah, he's definitely aware of it and he's going to go for the drone scout here.
Yeah, and I like this scout timing because it looks like it would line up with a 12 pool if he thought an 8 Rax was out on the map, which would obviously be a good counter to the 8 Rax. So he comes in here, sees the depot, now he knows that, okay, this guy's not going to be aggressive, and he can just play normal. Now something Rush needs to be a little bit wary of is, first off, this could be an early pool and Ling's coming, but also a lot of times when Zerg scout this fast, they go into 3 hatch. So I got my eyes locked on Hero's main, whether he's going to put down a 3rd hatch. And actually, look at this. He sent a drone to top left, but he may be clearing that out in anticipation of taking that.
Yeah, now
3rd hatch instantly.
There's a now drone being glitched out with the SCV constructing the barracks, and drone the one was harassing that barracks, and now that drone is trying to harass his SCV to constructing the barracks as much as possible here. And now Rush is finally has gone for the scout and figuring out this is going to be turning out to be a 12 hatchery, but he won't be able to see the 3rd hatchery. But the thing I'm finding out from Hero would be Hero has queued up a lot of drone and has gone for almost like a 14 spawning pool.
Yeah, he delayed that rack for so long that he couldn't afford to get away with the super late spawning pool. I mean, it was really good control on the drone and harassment, and he almost kills that SCV actually. And just like yesterday, we're seeing already a 3 hatch play from Hero here. We saw a lot of 3 hatch plays from Sulky yesterday, but not actually 3 hatch on Odyssey. Now you have to remember, this is Odyssey where you have double gas in the main. We didn't see crazy Zerg at all yesterday. 4 gas available instantly. This feels like it could be a good map for that, potentially.
And one thing that I noticed from earlier, like a minute ago, when the supply depot finished, I saw Rush was mining the natural mineral. So maybe Rush was planning to go for the 14cc build with the depot barracks wall. Okay, it looks like the first scout SCV will get picked up by the drone. I really hate it. Those are the drone, like offensive drone that just constantly chasing your scouting SCV and harassing it all the way before the Zerging pops. And now, yeah, let's take a look at Rush's build. He has gone for the 2 racks refinery, so this is going to be a 2 racks academy, but he hasn't figured out whether this is 3 hatch or 2 hatch yet.
Yeah, it's a 330 gas, so this is going to be an aggressive academy play. I mean, this is also pretty fast rush distances. If he thinks that the Sunken's not going to be on time, Rush is a player that will stem across the map. He will come at you and risk it all. So Hero, he's gonna need to be careful, make sure that he does have his defense in time, and that SCV does come in and confirm that there is a 3rd hatch. So that's a great scout from Rush.
And now we're seeing Rush. I took a look at the academy timing. It looks like he has gone for the 340 of academy timing to get out of first M&M rush with the first 2 medic before the 5-minute mark, and that's the important timing for Terran whenever they want to go for the steam pack rush. And 5-minute hitting before 5-minute mark and moving out with the first two medic, that actually forced Hero to put down 2 sunken colony and maximum 3.
Yeah, I love this move out. It's always so powerful, but you have to be careful because if you move out too quick and the opponent goes for a lot of lanes, you won't have stim that quickly. Like as you're moving out, stim won't be completed. So if Rush gets a little bit too over eager and Hero happens to build a lot of lanes, the bio ball could get picked off. But we do see the 3 sunkens going down just like you said, and behind this we have the standard eBay follow up for Rush. That's just going to be for turrets. I don't think it's going to be for a +1 weapon. Oh, it could be for +1 weapon rush. I forgot that this was a 3-hatch opener.
Yeah, now those first M&Ms are moving on, and Overlords and also the Zerglings we're watching. Looks like the metabolic boost hasn't even kicked in yet for Hero yet. So Hero has to put down the maximum 3 sunken to defend the first 2 medic of this timing attack. And what will Rush do? Is Rush going to be targeting down on this Xel'Naga Temple? Can he actually take it down with the first a couple of steam pack? I'm quite not sure whether he can. Yeah, he's gonna be using the steam pack. I'm not sure whether this Xel'Naga Templars are stacked, but the DPS seems good enough to take it down before the Mutalisk comes out.
Yeah, the DPS is definitely high, but I agree. You can see that the shadow is pretty thick there on the temples. This looks stacked to me, but you know, Rush has obviously played this map enough times to know what he's doing. Okay, now he's gonna back off. That was a interesting move from Rush.
Maybe I might know the reason why. I mean, if he has pretty much like a low down the HP as much as possible before the Mutalisk pops out. Whenever he has the +1 M&M force with the 2 groups, 3 groups of M&M, maybe he's just gonna be steaming forward and all the way go all the way to the 12 o'clock location and start taking down the Xel'Naga Temple with the +1 weapon upgrade. And that's one of the possibility what I can think of. And it looks like Hero is going for the super fast hype tech here, and Rush is gonna go for super fast starport as well.
Yeah, that's a Queen's Nest Hive coming up and Evolution Chamber coming up for Hero. So his +1 armor should be relatively equal in timing to the +1 weapon timing of Rush. Here come those mutas. They do find an SCV, but looks like Rush is pretty tight on the defense here. Not really a lot of openings. We've got very fast starport follow-up for Rush, and now just now building his 3rd barracks.
This build somewhat reminds me of a crazy Terran build. Don't you think so? The Turax factory with this fast. And it looks like Hero's just going to be queuing up lots of the drone here and not going to be making that much of a Mutalisk. That's super fast Defiler Mount at 7 minutes 45 seconds. And here are the 8 Mutalisks, the magic number, picking up the SCV and also a couple of Marine whenever he can. Just going to be flying around left and right, and the Nidus Kono should be connected to his behind expansion in order to defend this if Rush makes the dropship or even breaks out the Xel'Naga Temple later on.
Yeah, and I thought that Defiler Mound was interesting because I didn't see the Hydrogen anywhere, but now that I see it, okay, it all of a sudden makes sense. I thought it was going to be an Ultralisk Cavern initially, but we actually see +1's done for Rush, so it's faster than I anticipated. But look how many macro hatches already going up for Hero. He's already at 6-hatch production, and Rush needs to start ramping up that Rax production pretty quickly, because otherwise he's going to be in big trouble. He's just simply not going to have a lot of units. Zerg's already on 3 bases with 3 gas, so he's going to be careful.
And the Nidus Kono is connected to those behind expansion, adding quite a lot of hatchery here. So I'm going to be expecting Hero might going to go for that. It's not a crazy Zerg playstyle, but he's aiming to go for the game where Soki has shown against Royal from the last night in Neil's Sulfit, like making bunch of Hydrolisks later on and making quite a lot of Zerging as well with the Defiler and constantly using the plague. And you saw Hydra Lurker playstyle with the Defiler. It was incredibly strong.
Yeah, I was re-watching that series last night, especially the butter game. Like, Sulky had no money. There were attacks he was making with literally 3 Hydras and 2 Lurkers, and he was doing damage just because he had that Dark Swarm to help support him and the Plague. So it's very dangerous comp, and I know for a fact that Hero does play that style quite often. We've got double Evolution Chamber coming in. We've got no I think he just has a couple Lurkers, but we don't really see any other tech units than the Mutas. So we don't really know exactly what comp he's going into, but Rush has now ramped up his rack production. He's sitting at 5. He's going vessels. He's got a floated factory, so unlike yesterday, we're not going to see any tanks.
And that irradiate did quite a lot of damage, and it looks like that maybe that was one of the reasons why he was attacking the zone. And that was the second irradiate just went off to the Mutas and nicely pulling up, but he's hiding those Force Scourge under the Mutas, so Rush needs to be very careful of that M&M micro with the vessel. And this +1 weapon is taking down the Xel'Naga tempo really fast here. And now the first, okay, it looks like the armor 1 is already kicked in for Hero. 3 Lurker with a single Defiler will be moving towards to the right side, and then not enough energy for the irradiate.
Yeah, he already blew 2 of them on the Mutalist, and we see more and more Hydras pumped out. So again, it is going to be the Hydra Ling Lurker Defiler style, just like yesterday that Sulky was trying to use. And you can see Rush was trying to go for some type of move on the other side of the map, but Lurkers were in position. And we've got more and more units just streaming across from Rush. He's just going to put on so much pressure constantly. We've actually got supply lead for Hero, though. That's pretty crazy. And critically, he's on the high ground, so those temples can't be taken out right now.
And now the first play has gone off to the M&M. And looks like Hero is just decently doing well with this number of Mutals denying that third expansion as much as possible, and the M&M are slowly getting pushed back with a single Defiler and a couple of Lurkers, and he's trying to peel off and kill those Lurkers as much as possible. It looks like the +2 and a +1 armor kicked in at 11:38 seconds, so that's super duper fast of the Rush's upgrade here. Rush is constantly rotating off his M&M force to the left side and try to go for the backstab, or maybe he's looking forward to do some sandwich position, but Hero does not have the Hydra speed yet. Gotta be careful over here.
Yeah, he does have to be careful. Yeah, he's going for a counterattack on the right side of the map. He ends up taking down a portion of Rush's army. Now, I think in Rush's main, he's built the command center, and he's built the command center at mid-left. That seems pretty darn fast for only having 5 barracks, so this could backfire, because that's almost 1,000 resources that are not units. He's found the Hydra Lurker army, which is pretty much just 1 Lurker and just 10 Hydras with no speed, like you said, still no speed. And there's also no Defilers, so there's nothing to, cast Dark Swarm on the Marines as they chase. Marines at the bottom side intercept the Hydras, but luckily the Hydras do get away in the nick of time.
And those are the M&M force moving left and right up, but the vessels are out of position and getting 3 vessels getting picked up by Hero with the Hydralus, and I think he's about to throw another Dark Swarm or maybe the Plague, but not in range. It looks like Defiler will fall. It looks like the +1 of the range upgrade from Hero gets complete, and he will be expanding towards the 3 o'clock side. So this doesn't seem too good for Rush in my opinion, because there are a bunch of macro hatchery for Hero to pump a lot of units, and this guy is a crazy Zerg of a Zerg versus. He's a killer of in Zerg versus Protoss matchup. So this type of a unit comp, you use it against Protoss, and he's doing it in Zerg versus Terran. So he's gonna be very confident with his Hydra Lurker Defiler playstyle.
Yep, and I did see that there are double factories outside of Rush's naturals, so he is going for tanks, which is exactly what you need versus Hydra Lurker. High ground, Rush is going to use this to his advantage, but Dark Swarm's going to push that back. And we have Lurkers and Hydras encroaching on the third base, but the tank shots were fantastic, knocking down 2 out of the 3 Lurkers.
Yeah, those Lurkers are still buying some time, and M&Ms are slowly getting picked up. And Hydralus also has the +2 armor, and looks like that's another floating command center where Rush wanted to take the 4th expansion, but looks like Hero has caught up with the supply count. 135 versus 112, and the single SCB, a single Lurker is picking up quite a lot of SCB here, and now Rush realized he has to pull those SCB away, but looks like the vessels are out of energy to use the irradiate.
Yeah, I saw a counterattack to mid-right from Rush, but it was cleaned up by Hero just a second ago. We've got more lurkers and defilers moving across. The Rush almost snipes that defiler. That was a nice pick, but he's going to lose his command center that's floating to top left.
Yeah, that single lurker is just still inside of the Darkstorm, and third expansion is pretty much stopped for a while. And yeah, this M&M force is not enough to hold against Hero's army. It doesn't seem to be great. And he's going to be steaming forward to merge those reinforcements at the main army also together. And it looks like somehow one group of NMM died at the right side and pretty much did some amount of damage at the 3 o'clock, but that's still not enough. He hasn't taken down the expansion, but that one single plague on the vessel, it is going to take down those vessels, turning out to be a 1 HP remaining, and that doesn't seem too good for Rush to keep up. Looks like Rush's supply count has not keeping it up really well, and Hero's supply count has been going up and up.
Yeah, Rush is struggling to just stay at around 100. He's now sub 100, just barely. He's going to be way below 100 now. He just lost a handful of Marines there. Tanks are kind of isolated, really. I mean, there's 6 of them, but no support. Lurkers get a Darkstorm. Marine's going to come in and try and save the day, but they can't hit anything under Darkstorm either. The vessel count is still high at 4, but Hero's done a really good job to keep it manageable, like not letting Terran reach critical mass of something like 8 or 10 vessels. Now, this is what I hate when there's Darkstorm, is you saw those tanks, they're all focusing the Lurker, 0 shots onto the links. Now, this could be game ending because that's where the factories are. We've got Hydras and Defilers getting into position.
Hydra and Zerglings are over here at the bottom side, and also the top side Lurker Hydralists are trying to go for the flank, and this army did not sink for Hero, but this number of Defiler and this number of Hydralists and a single Defiler will do quite a lot of damage, and they take down buildings super duper fast.
Yeah, he's been upgrading the Hydras too. They have +1 weapon. Those are 2 dead factories, and this puts Rush all in pretty much. This is 17 minutes into the game. His main's mined out. Natural's basically mined out. Third base is floated. He's going to try and counterattack mid-right, but I think there's just flat out too much Zerg here. There's not that much, right now, but the real army is coming.
Well, did you see that Adrenaline is not even done, but those Zergling is taking down those M&M really well. And once again, the Lurker Act just being completed, picking up another SCV. That is just super annoying for Rush to defend, and he's also retreating off his Sun's vessel. He needs to repair or has to use the restoration to fix those vessel, not getting those plagued. But Rush is desperately low on money.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be his last stand unless he can knock down a base. He's in big time trouble. Scourger trying to connect. All these vessels are at 1 health. That was really good control there to save them, but it's still a 40 supply lead for Hero right now. He's got a lot of Hydras. He doesn't have that many Lurkers right now, but he's on 5 gas. He also has 3 armor, so at any point, he could switch into something like Ultras if he wanted. I would love to see him drop the main. I mean, he's got so much resources and so much gas right now. Rush is out of position, and there it is. GG comes out because Rush realized 5 base Zerg, that's almost unstoppable.
5 base Zerg, that's incredibly strong from Hero's play. And yeah, Hydralisk Lurker Defiler is his best unit comp, and he's one of the Zerg player who's insanely good in Zerg vs Protoss matchup. He's a Protoss killer. He has been using that Hydra Lurker Defiler Zergling playstyle entire of his life. So of course he's not gonna be having that much of a trouble using it against Terran.
Yeah, a lot of my friends really like Rush, and they think that he's gonna take Hero, but when I heard that I was like, I don't know, man, because Rush is a bio guy, and that style that Hero plays, it eats bio alive. If Rush was more balanced, somebody that plays mech, then I think he would be a better chance. But literally every single time I've seen Rush play, he's played bio. So he's going to have to come up with something special because it's just flat out hard to fight the army. I mean, he's got insane multitask, but he's got to fight Hero's army at some point.
Right, and a lot of people may think M&Ms are really strong against Zerg. Yes, that is definitely true whenever they are fighting against Lurker and Zergling, but when it comes to Lurker and Hydralisk and having a matchup even upgrade, then those Heroes unit comp is much stronger than M&M. And it looks like we're going to be coming back after the commercial break.
And we are back and about to get into game 2, but we've got our ASL event.
And this is ASL Season 14 Ro.4 Match to Rush versus Hero. We got to see the game number 1 earlier, and Hero chose the first map, was played on Odyssey. Hero showed very good performance with his conceptual playstyle, with those 3-hatch playstyle, and to rush down absolutely one-sided game. And before we go into game number 2, there's a winner's prediction event, Africa TV esports page. Go there, and if you get the winner's prediction correct, then you get the ASL mini event. 2 people will get it. And also, more information about ASL Season 14 final, October 8th, Saturday 5 p.m. Sangha Africa TV Coliseum. 514 seats are available. Tickets will be start selling October 5th, Wednesday 5 p.m. Korea time. And please check it out on go to Africa TV ASL mainstream platform, and they will give you the information there. And after the break, we're going to be going to game number 2, and we are going to be expecting whether Rush is going to be making the comeback or Hero will be taking Rush once again and starts the score 2-0.
And I think our next map is Allegro, so this should be a map that everybody knows. It's currently in the ladder. Very standard map. I would say this is a must-win here for Rush, because the next map is going to be Arkanoid, and even though Royal in particular has gotten wins versus Zerg, we know that it's a tough map for both sides. It's a weird map. Rush isn't going to be able to scout. Of course, Hero's not going to be able to scout either. But if Rush was to lose there and go down 0-3, almost impossible to win. So I feel like Rush definitely has to get a win on this map, otherwise he's in real trouble.
Yeah, Rush, I thought he was going to be showing some of 8 racks build in the game number 1 on the Odyssey, because I kind of felt like the Odyssey map is somewhat leaning towards the Zerg, but I guess he was overly confident and things just did not work out well with the super fast 2-1 upgrade. And it looks like players are ready. We're going to be moving into game number 2, Rush versus Hero on Allegro.
Okay, in the bottom right, our red Terran, it is Rush. And up 1-0 in the series so far. In the top right, it is Hero. And we saw 3-hatch last game. Why do you think we're seeing like a 3-hatch comeback? Because we saw Shine do it, we saw Soulkey do it, and then we saw Hero do it in the last game. What do you think the reason is that we're seeing so many 3-hatch plays?
Well, there are 2 reasons behind. Whenever the Zerg player is doing the 9-drone scout, then of course 9-drone scout with the 12 hatchery 2-hatch meta does not sync up well, because you already sent out your first drone scout at before 1 minute mark of the game, and you're pretty much low on eco. And it looks like I said, he's gonna be pulling out 8 racks somewhere in the best of 7 series, and this is the game where he chose 8 racks in his the map where he chose on Allegro. And ASL map data is showing that it is Zerg favored in this the map Allegro in the Zerg versus Terran matchup 6-4. And yeah, Rush is gonna be building the supply depot at the natural. Hero is just queuing up more worker. He's waiting for the obullers to be coming out. And yeah,
she imitating the photo right there.
She's imitating one of this big streamer.
I don't recognize that as a StarCraft streamer.
She was the girl who was having the mask on her face. I might know who she was. Yeah, I think she was one of my students back then in the JSA. She was in tier 5, but I guess quite not sure why she is here rooting Bosphor, because she's not in Bosphor anymore, but I guess she likes the StarCraft that much.
Well, that's nice that even though she's not in the team anymore, still supporting the players. Now I'm looking at Rush's opener, and I see behind this there's no gas, so it's not going to be some type of 1-1-1 follow-up. And we do have Hero going into a normal opener. No gas for him because he sees the 8 racks is coming. And the drone, can it get any pot shots off? So far it's gotten 2 or 3 on that SCV.
Yeah, I'm gonna be counting how much of a drone Hero will be actually pulling out. And here are the 6 drone that he pulled. One of the drone is somewhat damaged. We gotta be careful. I wonder what exactly Hero wants to do with the 6 drone, because 6 drone is not more than enough to pick up those Marine. But once that 3rd Marine merge, then Hero has to do something about this, because the 3rd Marine is like the magic number when Terran player likes to go for aggressive play. And the bunker is just going to be going up. 6 drones are coming on the way. Bunker is semi-done. Is he going to be doing the drone drill? He was about to do the drone drill, but he's not in position. Okay, bunker is going to be getting complete. I don't like this type of position because Hero doesn't have Hero doesn't have that extractor also. It looks like those, I don't know how much of a drones will fall here. Nicely pull. Oh my god.
He's not going to stop it. That's going to be repaired.
Oh my
That
god.
is a big mistake. It gets not destroyed, and that means that Hero may just flat out lose to an 8-Rex. There it is, GG.
Yeah.
A big misstep there, and he ends up losing the game instantly.
Yeah, that's a big mistake from Rush there. Not Rush, Hero there. I mean, he should have tried to surround the Marine and pick off some of the Marine or whatnot, but I guess he was just overly confident to take down the bunker with the 8 Zergling. 8 Zergling cannot take down the bunker because Zergling just falls apart really, really fast by the 3 Marine and additional Marine reinforcement by Rush, and just did not sync up well. I mean, he was about to take down the bunker, but just did not sync up well.
Yeah, he needed like 2 or 3 more shots with his drone. I think the bunker got as low as something like 20 health. You can see Rush at the end smirking a little bit because he knows he got away with the easy win there. He was gifted that win. That definitely will not happen. And give away a win like that. Now, a lot of 8-Raxes, of course, don't go like that. You're a Terran expert. If you're Terran there, how many drones or how much damage are you looking to do where you feel like you're ahead?
It really depends on how Zerg exactly wants to do against the A-Rex. If he wants to let the bunker being finished, then I think it's just automatically Terran's gonna be having the favor towards it, because a lot of drones will be sacrificed and Hatcher's gonna be taking lots of damage, and also it kind of forces the opponent Zerg to make more Zerging than usual to hold off that bunker rush.
Yeah, as soon as the bunker went up, I was like, man, this feels like a massive mistake. I almost never see pros let the bunker complete. They almost always try and instantly surround the SCV or the Marines and pick off something. And, well, we've got a tied series now. It's 1-1. As I stated, I felt like Rush really needed that because Arkanoid, tough map for both sides. Yesterday, we actually saw Royal be the one going for a timing, potentially a kill move timing, but he overstepped a little bit, and it ended up being Solky getting the win. I'm sure Rush watched that game, and I wonder if he'll pull out another 2-Rex timing like Royal did yesterday, or if we may get another big macro game like Royal tried to play versus Shine.
And you can see Rush just had one of the ABC chocolate before he goes into game number 3. And the third map is chosen by Hero, Nyoken, Rush versus Hero.
And in the top left, we have Rush. And in the top right, we have Hero. So we've got horizontal spawns, but he's going to have to go pretty deep to actually find Rush, because we saw actually yesterday, Royal ended up expanding to the bottom left, and you can see camera position for Rush going to the bottom left. So even though Hero's going in the right direction, he may not suspect Rush is up here unless he gets his Overlord really close to these buildings.
And I'm looking at Hero, how Hero and Rushes are placing those worker. In the order of the work on the mineral line is really important for the early stage of the game, because you want to get down that super duper fast of the like the 9 depot 54-second depot on time, and for Hero he wants to get the 54 of the Overlord production on the way as well. So that's gonna be the supply depot placement at the Prowess Temple at the entrance. So I guess Rush has something came up with today's game of this Neo Arkanoid, because there's not much of a player placing down the supply depot near the entrance unless they're tending to go for expansion build.
Well, he's got his camera set up over there. You see he's going back and forth between his main and bottom left, so maybe he will go for the fast command center. SCV's going back onto the minerals. We haven't seen a queue up of a lot of SCVs just yet, but he is now starting to bank a bit of money, so this will actually be a 14 command center. And meanwhile, Hero, he's going to go for eco game too, because he's going hatch first, top left, but he is not building any more drones. So it is going to be a spawning pool follow-up, I think. Yep, and gas. Wow, that's a 158 gas.
That's a very trick of Hero's optimization here, and I'm also interested of seeing Rush's optimization here. I mean, if he was planning to go for Rex expansion like this, why did he go for 13 barracks over here?
Yeah, I don't know. He's obviously practiced the map. Maybe he just wanted to get a little bit more money. Maybe you don't need the Marines to be out that quickly to actually still be able to pop these 4 cocoons. Overlord is going to go pretty far in, and because the Rax is so delayed, he's not actually going to have to worry about any Marines actually killing the Overlord. And he does spot SC going to build a wall, but he doesn't actually scout to see if there was some type of fast gas. We do see actually fast gas from Rush.
And that is a very interesting Rush's wall at the natural. So maybe he was definitely aware of some sort of like a 9 pull Zergling 1 hatch lurker playstyle. So maybe that can be one of the reasons why he has the wall. And this time Rush maybe Rush has prepared something. His gas seems faster than usual. I think he started his gas before the command center here. And the factory timing is 3 minutes and 16 seconds, so this is much faster than the usual of Rax expansion factory timing.
Yeah, something like 20 seconds faster or so. We see the cocoons being knocked down, so Hero probably going to put down the 3rd hatch there in the near future. He still has direct access to that gas, so that won't be hindered at all if he ends up going for some type of low eco style. But the factory is surprising because, as I've stated before, Rush is really not a mech player. So to me, it feels like this has to be either 111 or Wraith, just simply because I know Rush never plays mech.
Well, there might be a chance that he might gonna go for 3-4 Wraith. There's a chance that he may go for 3-4 Wraith against this Zerg. I mean, this is pretty much like a semi-island map, and you definitely knows for both of the pair that Hero will go for the middle for sure. So what will Rush do? Okay, Rush will be going for starport directly. Oh, maybe this just something came into my mind. I remember this type of playstyle in the season 12 on Lemon. I don't know if you can recall it, but it was Rush versus Soma, and he has gone for gas expansion like this, slightly faster than the Rex expansion, and he has gone for the Valkyrie build with the vulture speed that time. But this time, this is a semi-island, so he won't be using the vulture speed. The vulture cannot do anything about it, so he will be directly going for the M&M with the Valkyrie build.
Well, Valkyries are obviously super powerful versus air, but you gotta be careful because you see he only has 1 Rax. He's not continuing to build Marines either. I think this is a smart follow-up though, because the Overlord's in position where if Rush wanted to go for 3-port Wraith, the Overlord would have spotted the gas. So I think this is a smart switch up here so that, of course can't see that this could have been, or it definitely can't be 3-port Wraith anymore. But we actually have 4 hatches for Hero. He's going into mutas now. His mutas are just now in production, but I'm looking at Rush's main. I don't see a turret anywhere. Okay, it's just now, still hasn't started.
Yeah, the Valkyrie production is really fast for Rush to defend the first 6 middlers on the way. And I don't know if you guys have watched the Artosis stream, but recently I've taught him the Valkyrie build with the Valkyrie build against the Zerg with the 2 Hachimura follow-up with the 3 racks Valkyrie build. And Rush is doing the exactly here, and once Artosis figures out this video, then he's going to be very happy about it. He will learn a lot.
I'm sure he'll take a lot of notes when he sees this, but we've got the first 5 mutas for 6 mutas out, and they're going to find an opening at the natural. Don't actually get a kill, but hello, there's a Valkyrie here. Now yesterday Royal lost like 5 Valkyries almost for free. Rush definitely doesn't want to repeat that here. And so far he's only taken a couple pot shots on the Valkyrie, but it still has a decent amount of health.
And we can see Hero is just queuing up quite a lot of drone here and start taking the third Vespene Geyser here. And just constantly finding out the sweet spot and picking up more SCV. But a lot of SCV is starting to fall and Valkyries are not in position to defend.
Yeah, a little bit slow on the gun there, but we'll get the Overlord. And that is going to supply block Hero, so he's not going to be able to drone man for the next minute or so. We've got Marine Medic already moving out. And he's already killed those initial temples. And you remember, this is Arkanoid. There's 3 entrances to your base, so Hero's got a sunken somewhere. I don't think he has enough enough mutas to actually engage this army, especially not with Valkyrie support.
Quite not sure why Valkyrie doesn't shoot that nicely, but hearing quite a lot of comp station just went off to Hero's main base to figure out, and Hero has nothing besides just pure drone. He only has 6 muta only. Oh, I guess those are the scan to never mind. No, actually he knows where Hero's location is. Rush knows where Hero's location is, so maybe he's just gonna be waiting until he has a decent amount of army chunk to move out. Maybe, I don't know if he's getting the +1 weapon upgrade on the bio. Yeah, the eBay is not blinking, so he's waiting for the range upgrade. And Hero desperately wants to take down those 3 Valkyrie before the Eminem ball starts to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, 3, oh my gosh, 4 Valkyries. I think 3 Valkyries one-shot Scourge, but 4 Valkyries are definitely going to one-shot Scourge. And mutas also need to be very careful because a lot of Zerg players at the pro level, they go +1 weapon, and that's really not going to help you that much. Valkyrie, here we go. Rush is always on top of his patrol micro versus the Valkyrie. It's going to be really hard to actually kill these.
So now those are the mutalists have to be flying around, and I'm trying to look forward whether Hero will be getting the armor 1 upgrade on the muta or the +1 weapon upgrade on the muta. And we can see Hydrodent just has gone up, but Metabolics just now got kicked in as well for Hero, and this is quite a lot of Valkyrie. I mean, now it's a 5 Valkyrie for Rush, and armor 1 has kicked in for Hero. That's great news to know, but 5 Valkyrie, I don't know. I mean, 5 Valkyries are pretty darn strong. I mean, they're pretty tanky too, having the default +2 armor, +2 armor on the Valkyrie, so they are pretty tanky as well. And now the single Marine is just going to be diving in to figure out, do you have Lurker Act? No, you don't have Lurker. Okay, I'm going to be waiting to have more M&M ball, and I'm going to be steaming forward.
Okay, well, he needs to not get over eager. Do not go too far forward if he wants to engage this army. Lurker's just now morphing, so there's a clock. And here we go. The mutas and lings are coming in. The +1 armor for the mutas will help a lot. Is there enough DPS to actually take down the Marines, though? The answer is no, because look how strong those Valkyries are. All 4 of them survived. And now Hero supply block too.
This is just not looking great for Hero. I mean, you gotta have that air control in order to protect your Overlord. If you lose all of your middles, these 3 Valkyries are just gonna be okay. Lurkers are trying to do some work here. M&M Force, okay, Valkyries are slowly getting fall apart, but medics are trying to protect those M&M. 2 Marines remaining, 4 medics. Looks like Hero will manage to hold this timing.
He may just barely hold this, but the medics survived, which means that once the actual reinforcements get here, Rush may be able to break through with round 2. And you can see the Lurker is just slightly out of position. There's still 1 Valkyrie doing a lot of work in the air. Hero just has almost no supply. He's about to get supply blocked again. So this is basically all he has to defend. You can see he luckily got 2 Lurkers being morphed at top left. If he had not morphed those before the Overlord died, those would not be morphing anytime soon. But then the main has been breached, and Hero just can't build anything.
that's a hero Marine. We can see from the spectator showing 16 kills on that single Marine. And those are the lurkers with the Hydralisks are coming to protect, but are... No, I guess this is not good enough to... Oh, wow, +1 just now kicked in. When did he get that +1 weapon upgrade for a rush? I saw the eBay wasn't blinking. I guess he was just hardcore on the Valkyrie production with the M&M and then maybe slowly switching over to some other tech. But now he does have that +1 weapon upgrade. These M&M 4s will just go to the downside, and the downside expansion is also vulnerable as well.
Yeah, I mean, here's just permanently supply block. That Valkyrie's not being killed, so it's just consistently 50 supply out of 44. He can't build anything. The Defiler Mound is here. I guess the one saving grace is that this army has been caught, like it can't run away anymore, so it ends up dying. But this attack did so much damage. Looks like Hero saved a lot of his drones, so you can see he instantly transferred them back to his main. So he's going to have a big influx of money. But right now, there's still no answer to that single Valkyrie.
Yeah, there must be the Scourge production on the way on somewhere. And we can see now Rush is switching over to Science Vessel production with the Siege Tank. I saw one single Siege Tank just came out. So I don't know how Hero is exactly going to be defending this timing attack. The next wave is going to be really, really strong too.
Yeah, there's not that many Marines, but even just 1 or 2 more cycles would give him critical mass, in my opinion. And we saw yesterday Royal use a dropship in the gap that you can see between the center. No dropship here to do that this time around, but this is still going to be a menacing army because there's still no Defiler out. I don't even know if he has consumed, even if it did pop out. But that's a lot of lurkers. Maybe he can actually get these tanks.
Okay, those tanks are just randomly hitting on those lurker one by one. Okay, now the one last lurker will also get picked off. Those tanks are just going to be slowly moving forward. And Hero desperately needs to get the Defiler somehow. Irradiate on the single lurker. M&M 4s are moving forward. Medics are not catching up. Looks like medics just bugging out. Once again, I hate when the medics are betraying, but Marines, this is going to be a one great chance for Hero to surround those Zergling, but it's still lacking with the Zergling count to eat up.
Yeah, he lacked the Zergling count and instantly pops that lurker before it can get into the Dark Swarm. The Defiler tried to save the day at top left, but it's only a single Dark Swarm. Rush can obviously just avoid that, but the lurker may be able to get both the tanks. He snipes the Defiler, which is a huge win for him. Again, the main is breached. Drones this time are falling for sure. You can see supplies have now plummeted for Hero, down from 50 to just 30 supply. Tanks all die, but the problem is that there's no answer to the Marines.
Yeah, this M&M Force is just looking absolutely looking crazy here. Hero taps out, GG is called, and that is the first time seeing a Terran player winning on the Near Arcanoid with the classic playstyle. Well, I guess the Valkyrie build, I consider Valkyrie M&M playstyle is also part of like a classic playstyle. And wow, he is incredibly amazing with the M&M playstyle there.
Yeah, it was a really strong timing attack. The 4 Valkyries just did so much damage. When I saw Hero have the armor upgrade on his Nienaber, I thought, okay, this is exactly what you need to deal with the Valkyries, but he still didn't kill a single Valkyrie in that entire first engagement. The Valkyries are just ridiculously strong. I hope we get a... Yeah, here we go. We're going to see this initial fight. Like, watch this. None of the Valkyries die. 0. And all of the Mutas die.
And Mutilis were not synced up whenever he has gone for the engagement. Maybe he was just overly confident with the +1 armor upgrade, but yeah, he was also definitely aware of that Valkyrie splash damage, so these Valkyries are just absolutely amazingly strong and just melt those Mutilis.
I didn't even notice that Hero had a Sunken at his main base too, so the Sunken was even helping with the fight, and it didn't matter at all. So that's a really strong timing, I guess, that Rush had come up with. And that means Rush is now up 2-1 in the series. I'm sure we're going to be going into a break in just a second, then we'll be back with Game 4, which will be on the... Oh no, we've got Hot 6 commercial.
Yeah, the Hot 6 once again. I wonder how many of our audience will be drinking the Hot 6 together today with Caster Park and the other 2 casters. and they're advertising more of the black favor one, and audience came up with the white one today. I think that one is written Force, the Hot 6 to King Force. They're about to chug it up.
I see the King Zero, so I'm guessing it has 0 sugar or 0 calories.
Yeah, that might be the one reason. I need to get some of the Hot 6 today because I have to go to the other place, other city today after this ASL cast and help my university teammates to practice for the tournament today. Tournament for the next week. So yeah, I probably need I need to get some caffeine to help myself out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you showed me some of the streams of your team's, I guess, leader, where they're doing that like dance off and stuff. I mean,
Wow, that
super
guy.
hype all the time.
That guy is really, really fast.
Yes, he loves it.
I cannot drink that fast.
I can't either.
I mean, there's some like a soda, like a sparkling part where I cannot drink too fast. It just stops me to drink that fast. I guess it's just, I guess it's just making fun of the Castle Park. Hey, you guys are drinking too slow. Yeah, some people are wondering about the Hot 6 taste, the flavor. I like it. I actually like it. It doesn't taste too bad in my opinion. It's just as nearly good as the other caffeine drink like Monster or Rockstar, where American people are buying, right? The Rockstar one. I like the Rockstar one.
Yeah, I don't drink energy drinks much, but it did remind me of Red Bull, but it has like a raspberry tint to it. But we'll be back with Game 4 in a minute.
로 13회나 본선에 진출하셨어요. 근데 사실은 평균적으로 시즌 9 때까지는 16강, 24강
거의 24강.
이렇게 됐던 것 같아요.
맞아요.
티어 오르는 시기가 좀 늦게 찾아오지 않았나 그런 생각도 들거든요.
엄청 늦었죠. 한번 올라가니까 뭔가 혈이 뚫리는 것처럼 계속 8강은 어떻게든 가더라고요.
그 딱 기점이 시즌 10이었어요. 네, 8강에 진출을 처음으로 했어. 진짜 역사적인 순간이었어. 그때도 막 유영진 선수의 그 표정 아직도 생생히 기억나. 할만함 보여줌. 기억나죠 그 멘트? 그리고 나서 랜덤 선수 이영호 선수에게 저그 테라 프로토스
뚜까 맞았죠.
그래도 그 다음 시즌을 와일드카드전을 통해서 시드를 얻고 또 시작을 합니다. 이 와일드카드전에서 조금 잘 이기는 것 같아요.
요새 느끼는 게 대회에서 이제 역배 소리를 제가 되게 많이 듣거든요. 근데 그 역배 소리 들은 게임을 다 이겼어요 거의. 신기한 것 같아요.
시즌 11에 이재호 선수를 16강에서 잡아내고 8강에서 이몽규 선수를 만났죠?
네.
졌어요. 네.
그 당시에도 집에서는 잘했어요. 막 중계진 끝장전 하면은 8대1로 이겼거든요, 홍구를. 그래서 좀 자신감에 차 있었는데 우승한 사람한테 졌으니까 뭐 그때는 경험 쌓는다고 생각했죠.
경험을 확실하게 쌓았던 그때가 지나가고 시즌 12 다시 한 번 또 와일드카드전을 통해서 시드를 획득하고 시작을 합니다. 근데 당시에는 또 좋은 일이 있었어요.
뭐였죠?
딸내미가
아,
나오기 며칠 전이었잖아요. 그래서 뭐 격경사다 약간 이런 느낌이 있었을 것 같아요.
8강 올라간 시점도 거의 결혼하고 올라오고 성적 계속 잘 내는 시점도 딸 생기고 나오고 이런 시점이 되는 것 같아서 좀 그런 게 있는 것 같아요.
내조의 여왕이신 것 같아요, 와이프가. 그래서 또 승리 소감에도 꼭 와이프 안 빠지는데 사실 8강 때는 까먹었죠?
했어요.
아, 했나요? 16강 때 까먹었나? 한 번 까먹었는데?
이번에 24, 8, 16 다 했어요.
그 승리 소감으로 와이프 언급을 안 하면 혹시 와이프가 조금 섭섭해할 때도 있나요?
감스트 이사장님 먼저 언급하고 나를 언급해라 이렇게 말해가지고 네,
위아래가 다 있다, 먼저가 있다. 역시 내조의 여왕. 시즌 12 때 대망의 첫 결승전까지 기억나시죠? 변현재 선수와의 결승전. 돌이켜보면 좀 어떤가요?
그땐 제가 좀 어렸죠. 변은재가 생맥석스로 출발해서 치즈러치를 되게 잘 막아요. 그 죽이는 걸 저 포기했거든요. 그거를 포기하고 게임하니까 계속 져 있는 거예요. 빌드도 똑같은 것만 썼고 제 자신을 좀 돌아보면 후회한 마지막 경기가 제가 벌처 드랍을 했어요. 근데 그게 제대로 떨어지면 완전 털 수 있는 상황에서 한 단 미스하는 영사가 나왔죠. 좀 이상하게 내리고 좀 마우스도 빗나가고 뭐 그랬던 적이 있는데 그게 좀 아쉬워요. 이거 잘 털었으면 제가 봤을 때 우승했을 수도 있어요.
이번 시즌은 또 이렇게 거의 탄탄대로대로 지금 일단 4강에 안착을 했어요. 지금까지의 여정 중에서 고비였다 싶은 순간 언제였어요?
16강이죠. 항상 16강이 가장 힘들고 재욱이 형이 너무 잘했어가지고 그때 이기는 게 너무 힘들었어요.
그래도 이제는 8강도 지나고 이재호 선수를 넘고 4강으로 갑니다.
시드부터가 아니라 예선부터 해서 뭐 24강 다 뛰어넘으면서 하나씩 단계 밟으면서 올라왔는데 오프에서 게임이 되게 잘 돼요.
아주 자신감에 뒷받침되는 경기력이 항상 또 따라오기 때문에 유영진 선수 또 한 번의 결승 무대도 충분히 가능하다고 생각하는 분들이 많으실 것 같아요.
준비 잘해가지고 꼭 결승 갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
최상의 컨디션, 최상의 경기력 기대하겠습니다.
So we are back. We're about to go into Vermeer. We've got Rush up 2-1, and he's looking to get a 3-1 lead and put him up put him one match away. But we've got another normal map here. We saw Hero kind of just botch the Allegro game, so I'm hoping this time around, if we see an 8-rack, that he definitely does not let that happen.
Yeah, looks like Hero has to be changing up his mindset. I mean, he made a mistake in the game number 2 on Allegro, and unfortunately he had to give it up the game against the 8-rack build. And your Arcanoid, it was Zerg favorite, I suppose, but the Valkyrie build where Rush prepared of this, on game number 3 was incredibly amazing, and it just synced up really well against Hero's build order with the heavy drone and then heavy Mierin and the Zergling combo. I mean, you just didn't really stop Rush's timing attack. And it looks like players are ready. Rush versus Hero on Vermeer.
And in the top right, leading the series currently 2-1, it is Rush. And we have in the bottom right our blue Zerg. It is Hero. Now we've got vertical spawns, and I know you always talk about rush distances. Is this a close rush distance on Vermeer?
I think on Vermeer, every rush distance of vertical and horizontal are evenly matched. So I heard it's about 30 seconds, just like the map Polypoid. And since Rush has spawned with the top right corner, I don't know what exactly he would like to do. Maybe he might have a chance that there might be another one. One reason he might gonna go for 8 racks build, and I'm seeing the SCVs already moving out. Is this going to be 8 racks? And I think the answer is yes, because he left that look at the resource. He's about to have that 150 mineral to put down the barracks again.
And again, even though it is some kind of forward racks, it's not too far forward. He can float it back to his main if he needs to. He can also get it into position at the natural for some type of semi-wall. So far in all the normal maps we've seen, Rush is really risking it on that 8 racks. And again, Hero's just going to go for a normal 12 hatch unless he plops down that 12 pool in just a second.
And I'm seeing Rush is not going to be having a semi-wall at the natural, maybe 1 depot and 1 barracks for the later on. But Hero will go down and put down the hatchery at the natural here. This is going to be a... Wow, that's really fast. 1 minute 37 seconds hatchery. Normally the hatchery timing starts at like 1 minute 40 second-ish, so that's 3 seconds faster of the hatchery timing. And the Hero will be sending out the drone all the way across. Whether it is going to be all the way across to the 11 o'clock or is it going to be sent towards the vertical and vertical. So that's a good shot for Hero. Guessing it correctly, he will be seeing the drone coming and Rush will be responding it immediately as well. Oh, I saw your drone. Okay, you are coming from the 5 o'clock.
Yeah, luckily for Hero, again, he's going to spot the 8 rack, so he knows exactly what's coming here. Now, I'm looking at the mini-map, and I see that the Overlord at the bottom left, he's out of vision of mineral, so he cannot drill on anything on the left side. So he's going to have to have perfect drone micro. We can see that the bunker's already going up, and it's at the top side near the cliff. So that's a pretty tight choke. It's going to be hard to engage if SCVs can get into a nice position surrounding the Marine. That bunker gets canceled though, so far already this is a much better defense.
Well, the good thing is, even if he cancels out the bunker, he forced Hero to pull out 9 drone this fast, and now here's the drone gonna be surrounding the surrounding the Marine, and will he be picking up how much of a drone? 2 drone fill, maybe 3rd drone will fall, 3rd one does not fall.
Ooh. That was really good defense there for Hero. He manages to save that 3rd drone, but he does end up killing all 3 Marines too, and that's fantastic for him. It's going to force the retreat from Rush, and behind this there's no gas, so it is just going to be standard command center follow-up. Of course, Hero right now doesn't know that, but he should be feeling pretty good about his defense.
And also, Rush is collecting some information here, whether Hero has queued up more Zergling or more drone production here after that 9 drone pull. And he saw there's no any other Zergling beside these 2 Zerglings, so Rush may attempt to move out once again with a small amount of army.
Yeah, yesterday we saw 4 Marine move out on the Butter game, and it just did an insane amount of damage. And with 5 Marines, I mean, he can almost one-shot the Lynx. But now that 6 Lynx are out on the map, that's going to be a little bit too scary, I think, for Rush to try and make a move. And you can see that already he's moving his Marines back into a defensive position. Another SCV being sent out because he wants to know whether he's getting Ling flooded or not. We see that so far there's no Ling flood. I'm not sure if Hero spent his 100 gas just yet, but a 3rd hatch has gone down for him.
And Hero is trying to find the scouting SCV as much as possible because he has put down the inner 3 hatchery before the lair tech finishes. So he's just trying to go for the macro playstyle with the 2 hatch lair tech on the way. Academy should be on the way for Rush here. And those 6 Zerglings are just looking, just sharking around to find out whether he can actually sneak in one of the Zergling or not.
And the Ling will not get in. I thought he was going to go for it, and I think he could have gotten in, but not able to actually get a full scout. You can assume that there's a command center there, but he's still not sure. Now that Ling may have just barely been in range, maybe not actually. We can see that the Academy's about done, so he's going to be moving out in just maybe about 30 seconds or so. First Sunken's in position, Spire's coming up, so Hero should be able to hold any incoming attack.
Yeah, looks like Rush, quite not sure what exactly he wants to do. I mean, I thought he was going to be moving out with the 2 medic production, but he's just going to be placing down the bunker. Maybe he's just unsure about the metabolic boost timing and having the Zergling for whatnot. So I guess Rush is not tempting to go for a 2 medic steam pack Rush here.
Yeah, I thought if you're ever going to float your racks, you would have done it before the Academy finishes. Now with it done, and he floats it right when it finishes, you can see he only has 1 medic. So He's not going to move out. He is just going to put down 4 rack. Okay, so we're going to go heavy bio here.
And I haven't seen this type of a playstyle from Rush in my life, because normally you want to put down that eBay after 2 racks or 3 racks after that, but 4 racks before eBay, quite not sure about it, but let's see how this is going to be turning out to be. And Rush going to be using some of a, yeah, he's trying to deny that 4 Zergling Scout.
Well, Rush is somebody that likes to build as much bio as possible. Like, this is kind of giving me vibes to last season. I think it was versus Soma. It's at 5th racks. I was just about to say it's versus Soma. He built 5 racks on Monopoly. And he also went fast eBay +1 weapon rush. And I was watching, I was like, dude, this is 2 hatch and you're going +1 weapon and 5 racks? I don't know. You just don't have any units. But this time around, he's got a much better opener, and with it being mutas here as opposed to lurkers, wow, 4 Sunkens.
I don't know how this is going to be turning out to be, because this 7 mirrorless and a 9 mirrorless will just go... Oh, wait a minute, where's the eBay? Okay, there's an eBay, never mind. So I guess he had the eBay a long time ago. I thought this guy was crazy, because why in the hell would you go for skipping the eBay and going for 5 racks build? And now we are getting to see Rush going for +1 with the 5 racks here. The +1 is not going to be that fast, but I really hate about the right side of this position, where when the middles are just diving in this deeply, your M&M force just getting stuck by the mineral line of the SEV and some other buildings as well. And now here is just slowly queuing up more worker. And he also has those 3 Kree colony to morph into having total 4 Sunkens whenever he feels like he's having too much pressure.
But look at bottom left, that hatchery got cancelled because he wasn't aware of where the army was from Rush. If the army was actually out on the map, bottom left just instantly dead. So he cancels that hatch. Instead, he's going to wait for his lurkers to get up, and then he'll probably retake that base. But the muta harassment did a good job. I also hate when the mutas get into the top corner of your mineral line, because the units just funnel in, and also at that point in the game, Rush didn't have range, so he wasn't able to shoot the mutas from a distance. So far, good harassment, and I think this was I think it was a smart move to actually cancel the hatch, because you definitely don't want to lose it. And behind this, we've got Queen's Nest coming in, so we are going into Hive pretty quickly.
Here's the one thing that I noticed from Rush is I don't see the factory hasn't started. Okay, now the factory has started, but I mean, this factory timing is really slow, that Hero has not made that much of a muralist production in early stage of the game. He just made only 9 mira and just tried to do some damage with that many of the muralists, and just constantly making those drone and sunken line like this. And now here the M&M forces are going to be diving into those 6 Sunkens, very aggressive. Can he actually break it through? The +1 is not done. I just saw the +1 F1 is not done there, and 1 single lurker just now finishes. M&M force might be not enough to break it through.
Yeah, if he had +1, okay, I guess it just kicked in right now. If he had +1, maybe he'd have gotten through. And, that sunken line looked impenetrable with 6 Sunkens. But Rush, he's not afraid. There was that crazy game versus Soma also last season on, what was it? On Revolver, where he just busted through like 8 Sunkens. You remember that at top right? It looks like there's no way. So he tries to bust, doesn't get the killing blow there, but it does draw the mutas back. Now the mutas are back into the mineral line, does a decent chunk of damage and harassment. But this bought time for Hero to get his bottom left base up and running. His lurkers are in position there, so now he's going to have 3 base econ coming in.
And now we can see Rush. I guess Rush doesn't have any backup plan after this +1 5 racks pressure, since he knows that Science Vista production is really slow against this Hero's tech. Hero's already having that Hive tech. I think Hero's Hive tech is already done, and this M&M force is just going to be eating up those M&M nicely, and that is beautiful. Eating up all those M&M, and now Hero is just going to be having a supply lead here.
Oh yeah. Hero's going to be feeling really good when he comes in, not just sniping the tank, but also saw that the Nat gas wasn't running for Rush. That means Rush was literally all in with this 5 racks. He's not going to have the bank to build tons of vessels. He also knows that there's no double starport. So right now, all Hero has to do, in my opinion, is stabilize the game, make sure there's no dropship that gets in and does critical damage, make sure there's no tank push that busts the natural. And if he can stop those two things, he's going to be going into the mid game in a fantastic spot.
And I think Rush, yeah, there's a Defiler Mount is on the way for Hero, so I think Rush really needs to hit for the timing attack with the first two tank, but he lost the first tank, so he only has one remaining tank to move out, and quite not sure how exactly he's going to be doing the damage. But here is the Guardian switch from Hero, what I'm seeing, and more Sunken Colony going to be being placed down, and Night is going to also as well at the 7 o'clock.
Yep, love Greater Spire. I don't think you ever need to build 10 Guardians, but something like 4 does a lot of damage, blows all the irradiates of Terran players. You can use it to harass their mineral line at the natural. You can also use it here to snipe tanks from the high ground. We know that the Greater Spire is not done just yet, but I don't think Rush really has any idea that the Greater Spire is even on the menu. You can see that the Mutas are trying to snipe that tank. They end up getting 3 Marines instead, which is still a good trade. And that tank took 2 sunken shots, so it's already half health.
There's the one thing that I've been noticing about sometimes there's something that I've been noticing about the Rush's M&M. Medics are not synced up well. I guess he just figured out there's no lurker there. There are 4 lurkers maximum over here. Defiler Mound is finished, but the consume upgrade is still not done yet. Okay, consume is just now gets kicked in, and he's just gonna be stopping all of this M&M and with the tank pressure. So Rush in a big time trouble here. Rush is queuing up more army, but there are 5 cocoons at the 12 o'clock location, 5 Guardian, and one of the Mutos maybe turning into Devourer, I suppose.
Yeah, it doesn't even need the Guardians to defend his natural. This honestly may trigger the GG because there's no vessel, there's no Wraith, and like I said, I don't even think he's scanned to see the Greater Spire, so these Guardians are going to rack up so many kills. The Marines actually get in range of one of them, may be able to take down one of the Guardians, but at the same time, there's a Ling Lurker Defiler move out outside of the natural, and it's going to push the Marine army back. And if you look at the pathway for Hero from the Nat to Nat, there's no unit stopping Hero from going across the map. I think Rush finally realizes that, so he's moving some in position. But this Guardian attack was fantastic, and he can't lose that vessel because he has no way to engage the Guardians right now other than the vessel.
And those are the 3 lurkers all in the Darkstorm as well for Hero to defend. Here are the units to defend the natural, but this 5 Guardian has done more than enough job. It just did pick up lots of SCV, Marine, and took down 4 missile turret as well, so that did just tons of job. And now it looks like he does have another energy for the Darkstorm. Lurker Flood and Zerging Flood is going down and slowly pushing those Defiler up, slowly pushing those tank away.
Well, Rush's army is still strong. I mean, he's got a decent amount of bio, he's got 3 tanks, his army is still decent. The problem is, it's just, you know, the macro is really starting to kick in for Hero. We see Macro Hatch coming down, Nidus is set up, he's secured the low ground, which means he's going to be taking the 4th base soon, and those 3 tanks get popped because they were plagued. And a misstep there from Rush, not paying attention, not unsieging and leaving fast enough. He loses those expensive units.
Yeah, it looks like Rush is going to be doing some work over here, picking off some Overlord at the center of the map. And does he get to see those 2 Lurker and 1 Defiler moving out? Okay, now he irradiates one of the Defiler. Uses 1 Darkstorm. Does not... he didn't have enough time to use the 2nd Darkstorm, but now those Lurkers are going to be staying in the high ground over there. And looks like Hero, once again, he might gonna go into that Zergling Hydra Lurker Defiler playstyle.
Wouldn't surprise me to see it again. He's again got a supply lead just like he did on the Odyssey game. He's really doing a good job to keep his macro going. We do see more Hydras being pumped out, so it is going to be that Hydra Lurkerling comp that you were talking about. He's also got armor upgrade already done. I don't think Rush has +2 weapon. Nope, he does not. It is just sitting at 1-1 right now, so even upgrades.
So those 2 science vessels are going to be constantly using the Irradium, the Defiler, and the Lurker. But that Defiler, before it dies, it keeps doing the work. I mean, he knows that Defiler will be dying after that Irradium on the Defiler, so he's going to be constantly using those plagued on those M&M and the Science Vessel. And looks like the Ultralisk Cavern. This time, he won't be going for the Zergling, Hydra, Defiler, and Lurker playstyle. So this guy, Hero, will go for 4-gas Ultralisk build.
I guess he feels like he's going to have at least even upgrades versus Rush, and Ultras are obviously decent when they're even upgrades. But what I was looking at in Rush's main is he's built a 6th and 7th racks, but we're at almost 17 minutes, which means mineral lines are about to be mined out. So I don't know how long Rush is actually going to be able to support those 7 racks. He may end up even having to float his command center from his main to his 3rd base because he's so broke. But we'll see what he wants to do here. He may just be going for one last ditch hurrah, but Lurkers and Defilers are set up defensively everywhere. He does have a lot of irradiates though, so maybe he can bust through potentially.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing 2 base, 7 racks from Rush with a 2-star port, but it looks like Hero is just gonna be having some of a Zergling Flood at the main and a Zergling Flood at the 7 o'clock as well to defend any sort of the dropship playstyle. So Hero is just on top of it and knows what's gonna be the next move.
Well, he also gets a little of help right there, seeing the dropship at the natural. If he was paying attention, he should know that, okay, it's not going to be just one. This is definitely got to be multiple. And there are Scourge set up at the top side to intercept, but the key issue for Rush is not even really the Scourge. It's in the main. There's a lot of defense set up, and Rush is just going to go for it. He's going to go straight through the center. Did not get scouted just yet.
Yeah, I think Rush is aiming to go for the main base directly, but the Defiler sees those 4 Ultralisks, 4 dropship on the way, so now he used the play. Oh my god, this is not looking great to defend. 1 Scourge, each dropship just falls apart. Does not look too great for Rush to defend. 40 supply of Rush's M&M just disappeared instantly, and at the same time, Rush is going to be breaking through the natural, but of course, Hero was definitely aware of that timing attack, like multiple direction timing attack, and he had that Defiler ready, but oh, he failed to use the plague on the Science Vessel or M&M, and now we can see the counter attack from Hero. Ultralisks are just moving forward.
Yeah, but it just doesn't matter because even though Rush sniped the Defiler, he lost that 40 supply that you're talking about. We know he's basically broke right now, and there's just no angle to attack. The Lurker's over here too. He's going to try and, I guess, go for it. I mean, that's a lot of bio. He does have the +2 power spike, but is it enough to actually go through? I don't see Defilers, so maybe there is some chance of it busting through, but with Ling support coming through the Nidus, I don't think it can possibly be enough, right?
Yeah, the Zergling Flood is just incredibly strong, and now Rush steps out. Now the score is tied up 2-2. Hero will be catching up, and he showed how strong he was with the defensive playstyle there. Remaining maps, I'm trying to remember. might be like some things that he wants to be definitely overall on Nemesis. Like Nemesis was somewhat similar to New York on a like semi-island map, so Rush might gonna go for some type of like a Valkyrie M&M pressure once again. So Hero wants to maybe review the game number 3 from New York, like how he should have hold that pressure and what he needed to do if he ever faced that once again.
I'm trying to think about what Rush said in his TVT series versus Light, because that was also on Nemesis, and for some reason I'm feeling like he said he wanted to end the game quickly on Nemesis. So he may play aggressive again, in my opinion, trying to end it quickly. We'll find out. Game 5's ready. Okay, in the bottom right, our Terran, it is Rush. And in the bottom left, we have the one and only, it is Hero. And unfortunately for Hero, his Overlord going in the wrong direction. So not going to find Rush with his first scout.
And I'm gonna be guessing whether Hero might gonna do some type of like a 3 hatchery build once again. I mean, I heard this type of like a map design, like a Nemesis or a blockchain, or this type of like a map where you can take another expansion and turns out to be like a easy base to defend. A lot of Zerg players tends to go for 3 hatchery build, and we are seeing Rush is gonna be sending out that 1 SCV towards the center of the map. 8 racks incoming once again.
I think this is BBS. Is this BBS? It is gonna be BBS. So Rush, I guess he just doesn't like this map, man, because like I said, I felt like for some reason...
BBS.
Oh, is it not BBS?
This is
It
BBS.
BBS. Yeah, for some reason I felt like I remember Rush stating in the Light series that he just didn't like this map at all. So we got BBS, and this is not something you see often in Terran versus Zerg. But Hero, he's got the counter, doesn't he? This is Overpool.
Oh, overpull. Quite not sure, but Hero is gonna be doing the overpull with the drone scout, so he's definitely aware of some type of like ARAX or BBS. Maybe Hero is just very confident enough to figure out. Okay, he might get to see the first. Oh, okay, the AI, the path.
Wow.
Oh, okay, he does see it. He does get to see the 1 racks, but he may just consider, oh, 8 racks into 111. If he doesn't figure out the second racks where it's located at, then that's gonna be a trouble. If he just start not making additional Zergling after 6 Zergling, then this is going to be a trouble for him. And we are seeing Hero cutting up some of our Zergling production, queuing up the extractor really fast, and sees the second Marine comes, and I wonder if that drone is just gonna be going upward, or gotta be careful with the second barracks.
Well, I'm sure Hero is kind of confused, because when you see that it's an overpool, I mean, you're not sitting in the center of the map with just an 8 racks, right? I mean, this is 4 links. He must be thinking something's up, right? Because 4 lings beat 3 Marines. Okay, now he knows the gig is double racks in the center. So luckily for him, he's built 8 lings here, and he will be able to defend just these 5 Marines.
And those are the Zerglings that are trying to go for the backstab, and I think Hero is just gonna be going for the backstab move here. Some of the Zerglings will go for the backstab, putting down the Creek Colony at the main. So he's just gonna be giving up that. He will be giving up that hatchery. He will be giving up that hatchery and have that Sunken Colony up at the main base, adding more Creek Colony. Is this going to be turning out to be like a 1 hatch Muta playstyle?
I mean, it could. Wait a minute. Hero's attacking the racks in the center of the map. He's not actually in the mineral line. If he was in the mineral line, I think this game ends because Rush wouldn't be mining. Okay, now he killed the racks in the center of the map. He actually just outright killed it. Now, the bunker. It's vertical. We talk about cannons being vertical and stuff, having additional range. But that bunker can't range the hatchery, I don't think. Can it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if he just had that one, the bunker 1 upper side, then that what is it? How should I say it? Like one box above, then he could have gotten the hatchery. I don't think that hatchery hits. The the Nexus can hit. If it was a Nexus, the bunker actually hits, but the hatchery, the size is smaller than the Nexus, and the bunker does not hit the hatchery.
This is a wild game, but Rush is a floated command center right now. He's not mining. I don't even know how many SCVs he's saved.
Oh my
but you
god.
can see that Hero is struggling. He's trying to get this sunken colony. Lings are going to suicide to try and get that sunken up. If the sunken gets up, I think he's got it. Even if he can only mine half the patches. But if it doesn't get up, then Rush may actually be able to take... That is so many Lings. Is it a mistake, though? He's going to take down the bottom bunker. Oh, I think he's got it. He's going to lose all his Lings. Well, I don't know. Heroes can only mine really 3 patches. Watch, the drone comes in and... Oh, I thought he got shot by the bunker, but I guess not.
Well, we can see Hero is taking down the egg at the 6 o'clock. I mean, he knows... Yeah, he knows he can defend his base.
Yeah, and that sunken was just barely in range of the bunker, so it was just non-stop repair, and eventually Rush would run out of money. So, interesting move with the BBS. I think it was smart to stagger the rack, but like I said, Hero had to suspect something. Like, you've got an 8 racks in the center of the map, you know I overpulled, and you're just holding your ground, you're not turning around. So it was the perfect response from him. Really clutch sunken to put in his main and cancel his hatch also.
I think the moment where Rush placed down the first bunker was the mistake there. I mean, if that bunker was one unit above or 1 block above, then that bunker would have touched the hatchery, actually, to be honest.
Even one more to the left would have shut down the mineral line on the left side. We're getting a replay of how this unfolded. Those 2 Lings in the main actually did more damage than I thought. I can't believe he ended up killing that rack. And the sunken ends up dying right there, as you can see. But like you said, because the hatchery is so small, that bunker unfortunately couldn't range the hatch.
Yeah, Light was explaining about the bunker range. Whenever you did the cheese against the 12 Nexus, vertically you calculate the eBay size and the supply depot, and that's the size of it. You can fit 1 eBay and 1 supply depot to hit the building if it was a Nexus, but if it's hatchery, the size is smaller, so you cannot actually hit it. So you have to be putting... You can see on the right side of the bunker, he could have just had that bunker 1 upward, then that hatchery could have been taken down.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, in the heat of the moment, you've got to make a decision, and unfortunately that decision just ended up not working out for him. Really clutch defense, though, from Hero there, and also great read to know that it was not just a single 8 rack. So I mean, BBS really is not common in TVZ. So nice hold, and that puts him 1 game away now. And we are going to be going into Rush's map pick, which you seem to think is going to be butter, and it is. And we're going to be going into a break, and then we'll pick up coming back with that. we are back, and it's time for Game 6, which is Butter. Hero leads the series 3-2, so he's one game away from making it into the finals for the first time in a really, really long time. And I think he's got a good map here.
Yeah, I guess I was looking up on the community why Rush chose to go for BBS, and there were some of the reasons behind, because a lot of Zerg players like to go for the 12 hatchery build on a Nemesis. And Terran can also wall off with the 2 depot with a single barracks and have a complete wall against the pool first build, and that pretty much stops Heroes any sort of like a Zergling attack in the early stage of the game. And that was the reason why he was doing it, and he knows maybe Rush does feel not feeling that confident to play the macro pistol against Heroes today, because on Odyssey, Rush was trying to show the macro style, but it just didn't work out well. Looks like players are ready. We're getting the signal. We're gonna be moving into game number 6. Rush versus Hero on Butter.
So it all comes down to this. In the bottom right, it is Rush, and in the top right, of course, it is Hero. Rush gotta put a win on the board, otherwise his run is done. We do have Butter here. I wanted to ask you, Butter, when the map first came out, I saw a lot of Goliath builds, but as more and more games have gotten played on this map, you almost never see Goliath build. Like, people are okay with playing Bio. What changed where people switch from Goliath to Bio on here?
Well, if we try to remember back then of a season 12 on the map Good Night, remember the bottom right side, the Good Night 5 o'clock location, the natural natural expansion, the mineral position was on the left side, and a lot of Terran players did not know, and yeah, a lot of Terran players did not know how they're exactly supposed to be placing down the missile turret, and they had some big time trouble defending against the 2 Hachimura playstyle. And I think that was one of the reasons why a lot of Terran players wanted to do the mech build. But slowly, the more the time we got to play on the map Butter, they started to figure out how they have to be placing down the missile turret in order to stop those 2 Hachimura. And yeah, I guess that can be one of the reasons why Goliath stopped used, because a lot of Zerg players, they just know how to beat mech easily.
Yeah, my personal opinion is straight mech is not necessarily an easy build to beat, but you know, Zergs really are comfortable playing against it. Now, something I noticed in this game is we had the Royal 10 racks.
Yes.
This is not an 11 racks, so Rush is going to have quite a few Marines very quickly. Remember yesterday, Royal put down, what was it, a 20 command center?
Right.
He pressured with his 4 Marines.
Right. And I think we are seeing the same thing once again over here. So the Rex is going to be getting completed. And once Rush gets inside of Hero's main base, you have that extractor and the spawning pool starts together, but you only have one Zerg egg being morphed, and he will be immediately figuring out this is going to be a 13 pooled 12 extractor from Hero.
Yeah, okay, it's gonna be just a normal command center timing. So I guess he got the racks pretty quick in case he needed to build, you know, maybe 2 or 3 Marines to stop something like a 9 pool or an over pool. And now that he's realized, okay, it's a normal opener, I'm just gonna play a normal command center timing. Hero comes in with his Overlord and sees that this is a normal command center timing, so he has full intel onto what's actually transpiring on Rush side of the map.
And so far nothing is going crazy, and whenever you're doing the 13 pull with the 12 extractor, you kind of want to start your lair tech at the 3 minute 2 second lair timing, because that's the time where you can actually get the bonus larva when the lair tech finishes. And Hero is queuing up more drone, and I just saw 100 Vespene gas just now disappear instantly, so Hero's getting the meta bully boost as well. but he can also afford to put down the hatchery. This is incredibly amazing optimization from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and that is pretty fast metabolic boost. I mean, maybe he'll try and flood Lings and try and get some Marine kills. What I noticed on Rush's side is that was a 313 gas. The Academy is a little slower than I was anticipating for it to, because of how fast the gas was. But there's still something like a 330, 335 Academy. So he again is going to try and put some pressure out onto the map. Ling's not able to get that SCV kill, so that was a nice save from Rush.
Very good optimization from Hero. After the hatchery being morphed, and after putting down the hatchery, then he gets the 4 more of the drone production, and then placing down the spire on the way. So very good optimization from Hero here. And Rush gonna be sending out another scouting SCV towards to the left side of the map. So he wants to figure out what exactly is happening there.
We've got 6 Marines. Probably gonna build up to about 8 and then start moving across the map. Stim should be started for Rush. You can see he doesn't have much gas available. Spire's about halfway done, and Rush, I thought he was moving out right now, but nope, it's going to be one more cycle. Okay, actually it is just going to be 7 Marines and a single medic. There's no Sunkens, but luckily there's a Ling in position to
oh my god,
this move out. Oh, he lost both Lings? He only has 2 left over?
yeah, and there's only one last Zergling remaining, so this is going to be Hero has to spend, I think Hero has to spend a couple more of a larvae for more Zergling production here, because he's going to be placing down those 2 sunken colony at the net. He's desperately needed to place down like a Queen's Nest or the Evolution Chamber to have some like a building blocking the sunken colony. Okay, maybe he's confident enough to hold it. Spire Tech now finishes, and then Emmett will go back home.
Yeah, it did force the double sunken though, but Hero still had a lot of money. He's building 7 mutas all at once, I think. And Rush, I don't think he's scanned, but he's still going into a 4 racks follow-up, and he did rush +1 weapon also. So his +1 weapon is maybe about a minute and a half away.
I like Rush's optimization here, because Rush pressured Hero quite hard with the first M&M and forced him to place down the 2 sunken colony with the 7 Marine medic. And now Rush, he's also calculating the timing of the missile turret and having that missile turret perfectly. There are the 3 missile turret at the main. So whenever Hero ever does the run by to the inside, the deeper inside, and he's diving in. He's gonna be diving in. He picks up another SCV. There's the 1 missile turret, so he cannot dive in anymore. Okay, he will be sneak out.
Yeah, that's really good turret placement. Actually, really good turret placement. Limits the amount of damage the mutas deal. I think they got 2 SCV kills, which is definitely, you know, worth for sure, especially since he didn't lose any mutas. But now, with the 4 racks up and running, I'm sure Rush is going to move out on the map. I don't think he's going to turn around and try and save his main. I mean, he's just going to use production that pops out. That was a clutch repair, yeah. Insane repair.
Yeah, quite a lot of Mutalists are heavily wounded, and I didn't know there's an Oboler staying there. I don't know if Rush can actually see that Oboler standing there, but looks like Hero is just kind of gambling around. It just kind of reminds me of a Royal vs Soki's game where he wanted to go for like a heavy muta, like a double-edged sword, like offensive playstyle, no Hydra Den whatsoever, just heavily going for the +1 muta with the mass Zergling production on the way. And maybe that's what I'm expecting from Hero's playstyle here, because Hero is just constantly making more mutalist production. I don't see any giant building going up, and he's just kind of gambling around. If Rush ever moves out, he's gonna be placing down more Zergling, and then also the sunken colony later on.
Another clutch repair on that turret. It ends up finally getting taken out, but look how much bio is out on the map. And Hero did have 4 colonies a minute ago, but he canceled some of them to get his hatch up at top left. Now he's scrambling to get 6 colonies up and running. But look at top left, completely open. There's almost no drones at the natural either, so he has almost no econ there. The Ling off on the left side is spotting, because if he sees this army go to the top left, he's going to cancel that hatch.
+1 now just kicks in, and Hero does not have the +1 weapon. but those M&M forces are just been waiting and waiting until heroes to come in, and now the single marine will spot the hatchery. Now Rush has to make a decision making. If I were him, I would split some of the M&M and go back home, because I am definitely scared of this Mutalisk.
Yeah, I think that would be the correct choice, and he does have a lot of bio here, so he doesn't even really need to split any off. He did lose his turrets though, which do buffer quite well for Terran. Armory's almost done. Oh man, the Mutasplash is dealing so much damage, killing tons of Marines, tons of medics, and now he's scrambling to get back.
Well, good thing is the Valkyrie production is already on the way. The Starport with the control tower on the way. Okay, now Muta finds a sweet spot, dives in, and I think he might wanna, Rush might wanna steam forward and try to defend this main base, and that just looks so great. Oh, it looks like that hatchery just got cancelled before it finishes.
Yeah, it ended up getting cancelled, and this is a really dire situation for Hero. He seemed in between on what he wanted to do. He didn't take a fast third base. He didn't build a lot of Sunkens initially, and then when he needed them once Rush moved out, he scrambled to spend all of his money on 6, which cut into his Hydra Den, it cut into his Queen's Nest. Like, I think his Hydra Den just now started, really? And all he's stuck on right now is pure Muta. He hasn't really killed enough Marines, I think, to engage them head on. So he's in a really tough spot. He's going to try and take the third base now again, but I mean, the fireball is still massive.
That turret placement at the refinery seems really cool to defend the main base. And now here are the two Valkyries once again. And is he gonna do the back shot? He fails the one of the Valkyrie back shot, but still fires it nicely doing the Valkyrie micro. And Mutalists are heavily wounded once again. Okay, I guess Valkyries are just gonna be going back home to get repaired.
Yeah, this is one of the few times that I've actually seen the Valkyries be mis-microed from Rush, but they still got off a few shots. They still survived, which is the key thing for Rush. As long as they're alive, that's fine. You can't lose them though, because those are so expensive. We've got the factory with an add-on, so we could actually have a tank push. The Hive is so late that even a 12-minute tank push could actually deal some damage, but those Valkyries are repaired, and Rush is back out on the map.
Well, I guess this type of like the Valkyrie tank pressure is the new meta. I cannot even pronounce the new meta for the Terran vs Zerg matchup here. And it looks like Valkyries are done getting repaired, and 3 Valkyries are out on the map, and 3 Valkyries are the magic number of stopping all those 11 Mutalists. And here are the M&M forces are coming to stop the 3rd expansion, and Hero is also gambling. His Hero is also taking another expansion at the 1 o'clock over there because he desperately needed. He doesn't have that 3rd gas for almost 12-minute long of the game, and whenever the game goes long like this, he's just gonna be starved with the gas and cannot be making much of a defiler.
Yeah, and this is looking to me similar to the position. Well, it's kind of a similar scenario in the sense where on Vermeer, Hero just needed to defend and make sure he didn't die to drops, didn't die to a tank push, and he's going to take the game. Similar here, as long as Rush, I don't think doesn't die to like a counterattack. I mean, he's in a fantastic position right now. He's up 40 supply. He's limited the 3rd base for so long. He has complete air control. He has ground control. And now he's got the 3rd base open. He's gonna pounce on these lurkers.
Well, I guess those M&M were in a straight line and killed quite a lot of M&M force, and I think Rush needs to make some decision making. He does have decent amount of army at the natural, so he kind of want to move out. And here the 9 Mutas are going to be going for the backstab here, picking up 2 missile turret, but he does not realize about the 3 Valkyries. 3 Valkyries are going to be chasing all the way, heavily wounded.
Yeah, those Mutas can't engage again for a really long time. You can see the Valkyries are aware of that, so they're trying to find it. But at the same time, another round of army moving to top right. This time it's going to have 2 tanks mixed in. So those lurkers are not going to be able to rely on the high ground for long. The Defiler Mound was only halfway done. So this is something like a minute and a half away before even having consumed.
Yeah, I don't see the Nidus Tunnel. Okay, there's the Nidus Tunnel being connected, but one single siege tank is here. Do you have the Science Vessel? No, you don't. So he's going to be using the one's compensation to push that lurker away. He's just going to be steaming forward, and I didn't know that siege Cheese-Tank can actually hit that Nidus Canal from the very far rush distance. Nidus Canal falls. This is just not looking great for Hero to defend.
Oh, well, these Valkyries, they have overstepped for sure, and all 3 of them die. So that's a big loss for Rush, but at the same time, I mean, he's killing the third base. This is a dead base, 100%. And that's going to, again, put Hero essentially all in. I don't see a drone on the left side of the map. It doesn't have a third base anywhere.
Yeah, those M&Ms with the +1 armor, +1 weapon upgrade, just doing such a great job. And this Zergling Glove with the single lurker, I don't think it can end the game. I don't see the Defiler. I mean, from yesterday, we saw Soki was moving in with the 3 lurkers with the single Defiler from the right side, and somehow he kind of managed to hurt Royal's game tempo there. But this game is just a different story.
Yeah, it's just too much bio. It really hasn't been reset in any single fight. The tank count hasn't been picked off by any of the Lanitas either because the Valkyries have just done such a good job. And like you said, there's no Defiler out on the map. I mean, if that was like a 5 lurker, 12 lane, 1 Defiler counterattack, maybe it could have gotten something done. But now Rush is on the doorstep. There's only Sunkens and 4 lanes. The Hero's going to have to try and survive or try and save this with just minimal defense, and here he comes. But D-Matrix, well, actually, there's not very much bio. So maybe he can knock this out.
Yeah, I think those 3 Valkyrie were wasted for free. I think that was a moment, there was a critical moment. But Hero is just doing some nice work to make some comeback. I mean, he's gambling once again, taking 11 and 10 o'clock at the same time. So he wants to take 4 base instantly to catch up in game.
Yeah, 3 tanks, 3 Valkyries, those are expensive units, and Hero is kind of brought it back in terms of absolute supply. It's 75 to 100. He's got 4 macro or 4 hatches. He's got, like you said, top left both coming up. You guys saw him start an evolution chamber also, so he's gonna start his upgrades. Still no Defiler anywhere though, but he at least has the Nidus up, and he does have top left up.
Yeah, definitely does not want to lose those Mutilas, because Mutilas are sometimes very useful to defend against your expansion. But now one of the expansion will fall. But what if Rush doesn't figure out the 10 o'clock expansion? That's gonna be a big time trouble for Rush to end the game, because Hero has been showing great and amazing performance of the macro playstyle, and if Rush ever lets Hero to recover from the amount of damage where he took, then this is just not going to be looking pretty for him.
Well, that Nidus is seconds away from completing, so if Rush wants to take this base out, he's got to go right now. 220, 225 health on the Nidus. The Nidus is going to complete, but does Hero notice that it is going to complete? He does, and he's going to pop out some stuff, and that means that he will hold on to this base for now. But Rush, in the meantime, he's not all in this time. He's actually taking a 3rd base. He's going to take a 4th base, I imagine, pretty soon. But I can't believe we even got to this point. It looked like Hero had no chance of ever getting a 3rd base.
Yeah, both of the players are on top of the point. I mean, and this is the favorite moment for Rush's game scenario, because SK Terran versus a Zerg who's kind of starved on gas. He's just gonna be the vessel master, the master of vessel. He's just gonna be constantly using the Urati here and there and just slowly peeling off. And it looks like another group of Zerglings are here, but the Eminent Bow seems too small. Okay, Firebats are here as well. Gotta be staying near to the Eminent, but okay, now here it is.
Yeah, even though that Pile Ball was small initially, those 4 Marines held the line for quite some time. We still don't see a 4th command center from Rush just yet, but I think there is an SCV in position at bottom left. We see the first drop moving out. There's not any Scourge, I don't think, on the right side. I think those are both Overlords, so a drop may actually be able to get into the main.
Yeah, Zerglings are doing work, and 2 medics are randomly there and pretty much shielding those Marine medic. And the Scourge does not see the dropship. Okay, I think he saw it at the last moment, and now he has to pull back. But here's the double attack, the multiple direction of the attack. Firebats are D-Matrix breaking through all the way to 10 o'clock. Gotta be using the Nidus Canal, using the Dark Swarm, but the Firebat is here with a single lurker.
Yeah, a single lurker is not going to take out this army. You can see that the lurkers focus firing the Marines, trying to get as many kills as possible, but the D-Matrix Firebat just can't be killed, and in fact, he took out the lurker. We've got a counterattack to the third base, so there's action everywhere. The drop also got cleaned up, but critically for Hero, the third base actually died, so he's going to be back reset down to basically 2 bases right now. Not sure how close he is to being mined out in his main as Nat, but Rush is going to clean up his third base also, and he has 4th base started at bottom left.
So it is looking very great for Rush to manage and defending the 3rd expansion and also having that 4th expansion going on. And Heroes desperately try to end the game but does not work out well. 2 gas is just too starved with the best being gas.
Yeah, and that means Rush, he does tie it up 3-3, so back-to-back days in the semifinals. We're going to get a Game 7. It doesn't get more epic than this. Both players really slugging it out. It seemed like Hero was getting Rush's number in the past few games, but now striking back in the most critical moments.
Yeah, and now this is going to be like a destiny for whether Rush is going to get 12 o'clock or whatnot. I know a lot of parent players really hate to get the location, 12 o'clock location, because the Mutila's harassment is just incredibly hard to defend at the 12 o'clock position.
Well, we'll see if he gets it. Silphid, as you stated, is last map. I hope we don't see like an 8 Rex again. Not that it wouldn't be cool because it, the guys obviously got the killer instinct, but I really want to get a long game on Silphid as our Game 7. I think we're going to be going into a break. We'll be back and find out who's going to be facing off in Royal versus Royal in the finals of ASL. And we are finally at our final map of the second semifinals. It all comes down to this. Hero versus Rush. It's Sylphid. This is one of the most balanced, most liked 3-player maps of all time. Rush striking back in Game 6. He desperately needed it. He may have finally found the answer to Hero's macro. It's the first time where he actually kept Hero's macro in check.
Yeah, now it looks like I'm trying to look at each player's face. Rush seems somewhat tired. I feel like he needs to get some sugar or maybe like a coffee, like sip some coffee to wake himself up. I mean, he's starting to get those dark circles underneath of his eyes, and Hero seems okay with his condition. But thing I've been noticing it was Hero offensive playstyle wasn't working out well. Like how Soki, maybe because yesterday Soki showed too much of the offensive playstyle with like the double-edged sword Mura Zergling attack, and Hero was doing the same thing. It did not work out well, and it looks like players are ready. We are gonna be moving to the one last game of this best of 7 series: Rush versus Hero on Neo Sylphid.
So in the mid-left position, it is Rush, and getting that Dream Spawn, it is Hero at 12. And I like how you mentioned the offensive strategy of Soulkeep, because I was noticing in this series, every time Rush realizes that there could be a counterattack, he always, without fail, moves his units into position to defend a potential counterattack. Like anytime he's slightly out of position, he instantly moves it there. He makes sure that that's definitely not going to happen. So counterattacks definitely not going to work for Hero if he ends up trying to go for something like that. But we do have Sylphid. I think this is a good map for 3-hatch because you can go for, you know, the typical 2-hatch opener, and then you can put a 3rd hatch at mid-right, for example, or top left, for example, and then you have that high ground. I always find that strategy so hard to deal with.
And we are seeing from Rush, he's gonna be walling off with the 9 depot. And there's the one thing I've been noticing about the Neo Sylphid. 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock is so close distance compared to the other distance. Like imagine Hero was sending that overlord from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. That takes like millions of seconds to get there. But 12 o'clock to 9 seconds, boom, you get to see if Rush was going for a proxy ARAX there, then he got to see the proxy ARAX before the 12 hatchery starts with the Overlord Scout. And it's incredibly fast. Look at that. Before hatchery starts, he can get to see whether this is a proxy ARAX or center opening from Rush.
Yeah, he's like already there right when the barrack starts. So this was dream scenario for him, seeing exactly what's going on. We see typical scout from Rush at around 12. And of course, intercepting that Overlord means he's going to find Hero in the first position. And Hero, he is being greedy as hell. He's going for that 13 pool because he knows, well, you can't do anything about it. So I'm just going to sneak out a couple more drones.
And here's CV will be sneaking in and confirming what exactly Hero is intending to do. And Hero this time, I wasn't paying attention of the supply count, but the gas seems slightly faster than usual from the last game, so I may gonna be considered this is going to be a standard 2-hatch Mura opening.
We're seeing a ton of walls in this series. We've got another semi-wall. It really seems like Rush favors that, especially when he's going for a fast +1 weapon upgrade. It's allowing him to skimp out on those units in the early stages and just really focus on powering. I think we may see another eBay rush despite it being 2-hatch, but maybe not. We've got the second racks already going up at 253. That's quite quick. And the SCV has done a good job to limit the amount of damage it's taken from that drone. So good micro on both sides.
And here is a bunch of X being morphed. I wonder whether that is going to be either drone or Zergling production on the way. And we saw there are 3 drones at the natural, so 15 drones total. And the other X, I'm not sure what that are. Give 1 pair of Zergling. No, never mind. That was 2 drone.
Oh, 2 more drones for Hero, so really pumping out those drones, getting his econ up and rolling. And so far, this build from Rush is identical. His gas timing's the same. It's at 313. I think Academy just went down around 335. Everything looks exactly the same. And meanwhile, Hero, did he open? Oh, he did go for this 3-hatch type of play last game too, because I remember you mentioning him having the 100, being able to spend the 100 gas and also afford the hatchery.
Right. And here's the one thing I'm kind of annoyed about of this map would be 2 of the obelisks are watching the natural. So Rush cannot sneak out any of like a, what is it, special marine, like sneaking out and go for like a backstab, like a couple of marines, like how Royal was doing with the 4 marine, and he cannot do it anymore because 2 of the obelisks are watching the on the at the above and at the bottom together. So he knows Rush. Hero knows what exactly Rush is doing.
Yeah, the all-seeing eye. The Lord sees everything. He's also got 2 lings out. Okay, we've got a decent amount of lings. He's got 6 lings. They do have speed. We do have that 8 marine count. The lings are going to see the medics pop out also, I think. And it did just pop out right now. So again, we're going to have another 5-minute move out from Rush.
And this is going to be 8 marine with the 2 medic once again before 5-minute mark. And here is this time gonna go for the backstab with the 4 Zergling. Does not work out. Does not think of a 1 fire bet. And is this going to be another marine production from Rush? Yeah, 1 fire bet, 1 marine, I believe. And the eBay is also on the way. 2 sunken colony is also going up. And here is also working on those optimization, having that decent amount of worker on the natural and morphing into sunken colony. And the Zerglings are going to be doing some work here. Not going to be working out well.
Nope, and the move out did exactly what it needed to do. It forced out the double sunken. And now it's just sitting in the darkness. You know, waiting for an opportunity. The mutas have no idea where they are. The lings have no idea where the units are. The lings, in fact, miss the army again. So for now, Rush is really disguised where his actual army is. And the mutas have to be careful, because if the mutas are out of position, like 8 marines and 2 medics can pop double sunken with no support.
Yes, that's also true about it. And we can see Hero is cleaning up more drone here. I wonder if Hero is once again gonna be doing the double-edged sword playstyle, getting that +1 weapon upgrade with the heavy muta and Zergling. And the missile turret has just gone up on perfect time.
Yeah, perfect timing. Didn't overbuild turrets either. He knows that just 6 are going to come out, so he only needs 1 turret. And we've got 2 groups of bio actually synced up now. And this is a menacing army. If these mutas continue to hang around and not respect a bust at the natural, I think Rush may go for it. For now, though, he is content with just sitting in the center, and those mutas almost get intercepted. We know that there's a mid-right base, and it's completely vulnerable right now.
I'm also looking at Rush's natural. I mean, that's a really cool missile turret placement, what I just saw earlier. Maybe I'll try that out on the ladder when I get to play on Neo Sulfate against Zerg, especially at the 9 o'clock position. And we can see here, Rush, I don't see him putting down the factory. Okay, now he starts the factory on the way. And here are the bunch of mutas which just now came out. After the drone saturation, the natural saturation is completely done for Hero. About having 10 mirrorless flying around, Hero is looking forward to find some sweet spot to attack, but if he misses this M&M force, then wow, okay, this is going to be maybe elimination battle here.
Yeah, this is a lot of bio. It is a ton of bio, but the Ling spots it. However, the mutas, again, they're out of position. They're going to come into the natural, try and take down those turrets. No clutch repair this time. 1 turret instantly falls, but there's a lot of marine support here with 5. The Sunkens desperately need to start being built, and they are. But this looks very reminiscent to the game before. We saw similar scrambling to get up Sunkens. There's a vulnerable mid-right base. Oh, he's going to go for it. So we're going to have a base trade scenario here. Oh my god, all the Lings are flooding out one at a time. They're going to get eaten alive. 5 Sunkens I don't think are enough. 2 of them instantly die. There's only 3 remaining. Meanwhile, mutas are racking up kills in the main. Actually, the 3 Sunkens do hold strong.
Okay, Rush, he does have some amount of leftover reinforcement at the natural to bring defend the main base, and now we can hearing lots of contestation, throwing off. Maybe Rush may able to hold up. I don't know whether he can, but he needs to make a decision making whether he wants to defend the main base or go for the bus. But now he's gonna be deciding to go back home. Here the three Mutalisks are gonna be picking up all those 3 Marine remaining. More Mutalisks are on the way, and this double-edged sword this time working out well.
Yeah, actually did a lot of damage. I didn't think it was going to work out. I thought actually Rush was going to bust the natural, and he ended up not doing that. And he's in an awkward position now because I don't think he had enough to bust the natural now that the Lings and the Mutas popped out, comboed with the Sunkens. But he did have enough to knock down mid-right. He wasn't able to find mid-right, I guess, with his scans. So that base is up and running.
Yeah, that was about a base trade scenario. Did not work out well for Rush, and Hero did this decent amount of damage. And once again, Rush is pulling out this Valkyrie build and +1 armor. Yeah, Rush is definitely aware of this more of a Mutalisk production from Hero. So he desperately needs to get the Valkyrie in order to immune this number of a Mutalisk.
Your Rush is in trouble. He's taking a lot of economic damage. The SCV, I mean, look how thin that SCV line is, and that's a completely open left side of the mineral patches. That turret falls, which means the entire mineral line's vulnerable. He's not mining the natural. Meanwhile, even though Hero has a very late Queen's Nest and late Hydrogen, he's on 3 bases. He's got 4 hatches. He's got a lot of production. He's got a lot of eco, and because mid-right's on high ground, he can spam Sunkens there. I think Rush realizes the dire situation he's in. I mean, he's got to get something going. He can't even afford turrets at his natural anymore. He's just sacking SCVs, trying to mine as much as he can. He has no answer to these mutas right now.
I think one of the answer what Rush can be would be Rush can be doing would be kind of like a all-in build with the Valkyrie Siege tank where Rush was Royal was doing it from yesterday. Remember how Royal was kind of like a 1.5 base versus 3 base, 4 base Zerg with the on Odyssey. It was incredibly amazing how Royal was constantly sending out the Eminem Force and the Valkyrie with the Siege thing and constantly try to end the game there. And maybe that might be the one of the case what can Rush do over here, because he knows Hero's Hydrogen and Hive Tech is not that fast. Okay, there are the 2 Valkyries now. Those mutants are gonna be completely stopped from being harassed.
Yeah, and those Valkyries do get off big hits right there. A lot of damage dealt to those mutas. I agree, the tank push could be one way Rush can get back into this game. Well, maybe the only way to get back into this game. But if he wants to make it work, he's going to have to go instantly. I don't think he can wait for 2 or 3 tanks. I think he's got to go with just 1 and pray that the Valkyries and Marines can hold the line and save the tank. He's got 3 Valkyries now. Those are going to shred the air because this time around the mutas do not have the armor upgrade. But if he, like I said, if he wants to go for that bust, he's got to go now.
Yeah, the lurker eggs are on the way. I mean, he does have decent amount of army. Hive Tech is not even done yet. There are 3 Valkyries as you mentioned, and 2 tanks are moving out, and the Defiler mount just now started. I don't know how long the consume upgrade takes to finish, but this is the time where he needs to go. Either he goes or he die.
Yeah, Consumer's a pretty fast upgrade, but I still think it's something like 80 seconds, so we're looking at maybe a minute and a half or so before that, or I guess a minute and a half or 2 minutes before that's done, because the Defiler mount's not even done yet. The mutas are not here to help siege or help take down these tanks. Now the tanks need to focus the back sunken, deal as much damage as possible. Instead, he's shooting the front sunken, but these Valkyries just are so menacing in the air. He's gonna potentially supply block. He did supply block, so now, even if Hero wants to build Defilers, he can't. He doesn't have any supply.
Oh my god!
Clutch Scourge! He takes down all 3 of the Valkyries. This triggers Rush to go for it.
Does he
what
have?
It all comes down to.
I kind of want to know whether this guy has the +1 armor. And 1 lurker is not more than enough to hold off, and all those middles are heavily wounded, and +1 armor just now kicks in. So this is a very strong timing attack from what Rush can do to end the game. Yeah. I mean, this is about like a 2 groups of mutalisks, but they're heavily wounded, and the dropship also comes, but Scourge will pick it up, but this Eminent Force is just way too much for Hero to hold. I think this is dead.
Yeah, and the drops drew the Mutas out of position, so they weren't able to continue to fight in that choke. And the supply block was the big deal, because there could have been a Defiler here. There could have been Lurkers, but just now, the units pop out. Everything is dying for Hero. It looks like Rush is going to do it. He's going to make it into the finals for the second time. You can see the sigh from Hero. He knows he's
Rush is
lost it.
smiling.
Oh my god, I thought that Hero had this game. The Mutas did so much damage. It looked like he was going to run away with it in terms of econ, but you called it the Valkyrie tank push. We saw it yesterday. Even when the Valkyries died and tanks died in Royals game, they still pushed through and still won. And I thought when the Scourge connected at the natural, what we just saw, I thought that was it. I thought Hero still held it with that.
Yeah, this game just has gone crazy. This game has just gone crazy. Every single moment with the BBS, Proxy Rex, and the Valkyrie tank pressure. Amazingly well played from Rush, and I think this double-edged sword that Soki and Queen made the meta, I guess it's starting to fall apart in this 2022. Maybe Zerk may need to stop doing it nowadays because it's just constantly getting stopped.
Well, it may have gotten stopped, but it barely got stopped. I mean, Rush was on his last lifeline there. You saw his mineral income. You saw how few SCVs he had at his natural. I mean, that was his last ditch effort. If the Hive gets up, if the Defiler gets out, I think Hero's just in prime position to take that game. Oh my god, but that means, Scan, we've got a TVT finals. You know, going into this season, seeing Odyssey, seeing Nemesis, I thought it was going to be Protoss for sure in the finals, but we have no Protoss in the round of 4, and we have a TVT final.
Well, I guess that was a mistake from Mini. I mean, Mini should have banned near Arcanoid, in my opinion, round of 16.
Look at this, was crazy. When we saw the Mutas engage, I was like, no, you can't do that. I didn't see the Scourge at all. But this was the key thing. The supply block is the issue. Look at watch the larva. The entire time, there's absolutely no production at all for Hero. Like, he's still not producing anything. He's still supply blocked at 84.
Yeah, those are the 9 larvae. He cannot really do anything. And after he loses all of his army, he's instantly using those larvae. That's too late. I mean, your hatchery is gone, your drones are gone, your main base is just kind of like exposed to defend.
Yeah, if he had Lings here to soak up hits while the Mutas continue to shell on the Marines from over top, maybe he could have held it, maybe. But the drop at the same time, drawing the Mutas back, was perfect from Rush, and he hit literally at, I think, the only time he could have hit, because as you can see, the Hive Tech's done, the Defiler Mount's done. He really didn't have a very big window of opportunity. Just amazing.
Yeah, amazingly well played from Rush, and let's hear what Rush is going to be saying from the winner's interview. And I guess we don't hear the Caster Park. We'll be switching to the mainstream platform and hear what he says.
네, 좀 이제 침착하고 사이즈를 좀 보니까 발키리 탱크 타임이 무조건 한 방 있을 것 같다 생각해가지고 좀 가난하게
So
타이트하게
I
모아서
think they're talking about the game number 7 on the circuit. So Rush is answering that when he scans off the Hero's main base, he figured out Hero does not have the high tech and higher than, and both of the players were pretty much poor to keep up the game. So he kind of expected that tank Valkyrie build will work out well. So now you're in the final, the ASL finalist of this TVT final. You took down Light 3-2, and now you're gonna be playing against Royal. How do you feel? And how much of a chance that you're gonna be winning the ASL Season 14? And he says, if he does not win this ASL Season 14, he will never win the ASL Champ title. So this is the one last chance that he can get the ASL Champ title. Is there any other people you would like to mention and shout out to your people? So he's saying about his wife. Speaking about his wife, thank you for the support. She was feeling sick that she wasn't able to come to the studio to root for his game.
네, 많이 와주셔가지고 너무 든든했고 힘이 됐고, 그리고 감스트 이사장님이 또 많이
And
응원해주고 계시는
Rush is
게
in one of the team.
좋아가지고
Bosworth
감사드리고
teammates,
재욱이 형도 오늘
students are
응원해주느라고
here
또
and
이기라고 너무
rooting for him.
감사하고
Yeah, that's
그리고 지휘자
Bosworth.
저를 너무
Bosworth
응원해주셔가지고 감사하고요.
chairman comes
그리고
with
이제
the double chin over there
연습을
with the picture in
도와준
it.
멤버가 5명인데
He's pretty much saying thanks to the
이재동
chairman.
형님이랑
He wants to say
짭제도
thanks to those practice
이영환,
partner, Shine,
명훈이
JD, Soma,
형, 예훈이 이렇게
Queen,
너무
and
감사하다고
Soxry.
전하고 싶네요.
He really would like to say thanks to them.
그리고 이제 수많은 팬분들이 오늘도 이제 유영진 선수에게 힘이 돼주기 위해서 또 찾아주셨거든요. 팬분들에게도 감사 말씀.
Is there any last word to your fans?
이게 코로나 풀리고 나서 좀
So after this pandemic slowly getting finished and having the audience inside of the studio,
예전에 코로나 하기 전에는 제가 이렇게
he
높은
was-
데까지 가보지 못하고 맨날 떨어져
he was enjoying it. He really loved this. he likes this moment, the atmosphere of the studio. Audience are watching and rooting for his game. He wants to say thanks to those audience who came to watch his game. He will try his best and prepare for the final.
이제 결승전 경기만이 남아있는 상황입니다. 지난 결승에서 아쉽게 패배하면 준우승
So
차지했는데요.
last time
이번
in
시즌
the final
팬분들에게 좀 어떤 모습
in
보일지
season
각오
12,
말씀
you
좀
unfortunately got the second
일단
place against Mini.
4강을 준비하면서
And how do you feel
제가
of today's game?
부족했거든요, 경기력이. 그
And
경기력이
Rush is
부족한
saying
게
about
그대로
today's game.
나온
He
것
is
같아서
not feeling.
결승 때는 진짜 판수 더
The game didn't go really well
무조건
for him.
다시 한번
Things just did
축하드리고요.
not sync up
멋진
well
경기 기대하겠습니다.
as what he was expected
감사합니다.
and what he was planning for. Things just did not work out.
마무리하겠습니다. 오.
But he will try to prepare more for the next week.
우승에 도전할 수 있는 그 기회를 잡았습니다.
쉽지 않은 어떤
And
대결이었고
congratulations making it to the ASL final.
이렇게 어려운 과정을 거쳐서 결승전에 올라간 만큼 우승에 대한 열망도 그만큼 높아질 수
Congratulations to Rush. I agree this is probably going to be his best chance to win the finals. He's got deadly PvP, but Royal is definitely no slouch. I mean, this guy is really turning it up a notch. Remember, he all killed in ASTL, and now he's in the finals himself. So it's still going to be tough. I agree with Rush. I think this is his best shot, and we may finally get to see ASL 14 Champ Rush. You know how he makes those IDs every single Battle.net ladder season?
Oh yeah, I remember. KSL champ Rush, ASL champ Rush, and now Dream is coming for Rush. I mean, also for Royal. I mean, Royal, he was kind of like in a B team league, X-Pro back then in the Kespa era and SK Telecom. No one recognized him. No one acknowledged his skill and whatsoever. But throughout those years for his post Kespa era, like since 2020 or 2020 or 2019, like Royal started to play StarCraft 1 again after the StarCraft 2, and he just practicing really hard, and he's aiming to get the ASL Champ title as well.
Yeah, when I first came back to Remastered, or even like a year or two after Remastered, I also didn't know who Royal was. He's really just come into a lot of Terran's vision in the past 2 years. I mean, he's really just a huge force to be reckoned with. But Rush has also turned it up. Rush on CJ Entis for a long time. Even though I think he was on the A team also, a lot of people didn't know him really because he was also kind of in the shadows of all the other CJ Entis stars. But here he is, Season 12 finalist, and now Season 14. Shiny's very aggressive even on one base, and I would love to see that because whenever I play Shiny on the ladder, doesn't matter what he does. As soon as he's aggressive, I can't stop it. So I'd like to see if Rush can stop a really aggressive opener from Royal.
I heard there are some of tips that Royal actually copied from Shiny. Like I don't know what it was, but back then when a lot of Terran players were doing the 17 factory build against Protoss, like during the time when maybe like the map Ascension, every single Terran player was doing the 17 factory with the like 2 minute 38 seconds 17 factory, but then now everyone switched over to 16 factory, and Royal was the one cutting off the SCV, doing the 11 refinery, and then doing the super fast like a 2 minute 21 second factory, and have that one single vulture out really fast, and then kind of ruining the tempo of the 12 Nexus build on an Ascension or some other maps as well. And yeah, Royal, he's kind of like the Majin Buu. He likes to absorb any sort of like good stuff.
Well, that's what I like about Royal is he thinks for himself. He won't just sit there and be like, oh, I'm just going to load Flash VOD and, copy his build or go with the trend of, the 17 factory. Like, he's the first person I saw do the 10 racks. He's the first person I saw do that starport, that double starport. He's the first person I've seen in years do the ghost. I mean, he really does innovate a lot of stuff on his own, which I do appreciate quite a lot. It's nice to see Terran players come up with their own stuff.
And it looks like the third place match is going to be cast on October 2nd, Sunday, 7 p.m. And that is going to be, of course, Soki versus Hero ZVZ. And if I remember correctly, the third place match is a best of 5 series. Not going to be taking too long, but I'm also excited to learn some more about ZVZ mind game there too.
Yeah, that should be another exciting series. Not just because the players are so good, but also because Soki has really shown his strength in ZVZ this season. Every other season it seemed to be his downfall, but this time around he's actually doing really well versus Zerg. And if he does beat Hero, it'd be the first time he gets into the medals. He'd be placing in 3rd place in the bronze, which would be fantastic for him. But unfortunately, if Hero lost again, I think he ends up... No, actually, I think Hero got 3rd every time he made it in the top 4, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't quite remember which place he actually placed, but yeah, I wonder if Soki is... Well, Soki has shown that he actually overcome with the ZVZ matchup, like taking down Soma, taking down Queen, but can he actually take a Hero down? That would be my question of the best of 5 series of that.
Well, I think he can do it. I don't think Hero's necessarily much better than Queen or Soma or anybody in the sense of ZVZ, but Hero does have the ability to pull out interesting builds. I think you mentioned a couple seasons ago, remember that hidden hatch on one of the maps on the right side where he just ling flooded? I think it was Hero that did the ling flood, so he does have the ability to really mind game and come up with something clever.
I remember he was doing the 7 pull speed link too. 7 pull speed link, overpull gas hatchery, and then mass zergling production with the 2 hatch all in. And yeah, things just did not work out well for Hero that time. But I wonder what Hero is going to be showing up that best of 5 series this time.
Yeah, it will be cool to see. We've seen a lot of ZVZs actually get into mid-game with the Evolution Chamber style finally kind of being figured out how to play versus, aggressive muta build.